tastes like Fruit Loops.
I just started recording, so this episode starts with Fruit Loops. I mean, it's just a condensed portion of flavoring, I guess.
It was like all the sweetness right in one go. But, like, it's an aged sweetness, you know?
Oh.
Well, I guess, okay, it has also had, like, this mixture in it, not just lemonade.
What
so this
mixture?
is...
Oh. Go a little more to your right.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Right there. That's the sweet.
So, this mixture is...
Oh.
Coke Zero. So, like, one of... Okay, so one of these... These are my main cups that I use now. These are just quart milk bottles, and I have a bunch of them now.
Because you're supposed to return them, and you just don't, right?
Well, you don't have to.
I mean, the idea is you return them and get some money back or whatever, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's like $1 you get back, so I'd rather just keep it.
Yeah, that's
it's freaking sturdy as hell. Like
decent buy for $1.
But I have like 8 of them now, so I could get you some if you want them before I move. But
you can get those anywhere. It's not like you just have to buy from places that sell them.
I mean, I don't know. But anyways, it's pretty thick glass. Anyways,
it's sturdy.
So I pour a full can of Coke Zero in here, which is 12 ounces, and then basically the remaining 20 ounces is lemonade, which I find to be a good mixture because you can see it's still pretty dark. Like it's still
soda.
It's still heavily like on the Coke end of it, but
honestly, the whole thing where you like your soda to be flatter, it's like that would not do it for me. Like the mild carbonation of the Coke Zero, I feel like makes it so
yeah, like right now it's just like very slightly carbonated.
Yeah.
Honestly, like when I think about how it tastes, it doesn't taste that great. I just like it because it's like intrinsically. I guess I'm addicted to it, but
just addicted to caffeine.
I feel like this hat makes me feel like enough of a bad person that I won't mind doing this episode as much. I should probably take that towel off the back of the door though, because it's a bad backdrop for my head.
Yeah, you're not liking that backdrop? Go and face the change. I watched Trek 2.
Not what he says. It's turn and face the strange.
And?
Not face the change.
I know. Just because I know the real words doesn't mean I have to sing them.
So yeah, I literally spent about a total of 12 hours this weekend, at least, watching a Smash Brothers tournament.
Oh.
And it was pretty hot. Like, there were definitely... Well, okay, so the number 1 ranked player in the world was beaten at 13th. Like, he basically placed 13th, so... He didn't even, like, if you don't crack top 8...
championship, yeah.
Well, it's the lowest he's placed in more than 10 years.
More than 10 years?
Yeah.
Damn. Was this a bigger tournament than usual? Was this like a master one?
Well, so they've just come out with something called rollback net play, which is so like advanced like multiplayer games online. Instead of waiting, like what causes lag is when the game waits for everybody's inputs before doing anything.
Yeah.
But what rollback does is it just predicts what you're going to do, or you just keep doing what you already were doing, and then the only thing it changes is the differences between what it predicts and what you actually did.
Okay.
Instead of waiting for everybody's inputs to be synced up before advancing a frame,
yeah,
So so a guy, basically like a small team of people, like between like 1 and 3 people, I think, programmed Super Smash Bros. Melee to have rollback netcode.
Got it.
And basically, what everyone says is that it basically feels like LAN. Like, it feels like you're playing on a CRT. So, and I mean, you know, the online play for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which is on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, no. Even playing on LAN, it has 12 frames of input delay. And this Super Smash Bros. Melee, the rollback netcode, it has 2 frames of delay.
How is it? 60 frames per second? Is that
Yeah.
what it's okay?
Yeah.
I mean, a sixth of a second is a hefty delay, I feel like.
Well, yeah, like basically some fighting games have an added input delay so that the game's easier.
Oh, okay.
But basically Melee is like has almost no input delay. I think on console it has like 2 or 3 frames delay normally. So basically it's not like most people don't count it towards the tournament like rankings because it's not like normally playing online doesn't count.
Mm-hmm.
But now that this new netcode is out, like people are pretty much like, yeah, dude, it should count. And this guy who's the number 1 ranked player in the world, they were playing with 2 ping. Like 2. 2 ping.
Damn.
So they were basically saying
dropped below 80.
So they're basically saying like, yeah, they might have not have been in person, but it was still basically like it was a legit loss.
Yeah,
you know,
it wasn't because of lag that he lost.
Yeah. So, anyways, so yeah, it was like I don't know if it'd be considered a major or super major, but it was basically like all the best players in the world, pretty much. Or well, in America, there weren't any European players.
Well,
but
there you go. If there were any Koreans, he would have got fucked up.
Well, no, like in Smash Brothers, it's not that big in Korea, I don't think.
Oh, really?
No. There are a few Japanese players who are pretty good, but it's like mostly in America.
It's like, Koreans do anything, they'll beat us.
Probably if the game was popular in Korea still, they would, but like it was mostly popular in Japan and America. So anyways.
Is it bad to be positively racist? It's like, those Koreans anything they put their mind to.
I mean, there are marked differences between different categories.
I mean, obviously, like, running events in the Olympics, they're not going to be winning those.
Well, it's like saying, is the NBA racist because it favors, like, there's more black people than there statistically should be out of the population, you know?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
So, I mean, that's what meritocracy gives you, is, you know, you see differences in people. So,
this was a white man who was winning Olympic golds. He was on all the cereal boxes.
I honestly can't remember anybody, like any celebrity being on one of my cereal boxes.
I think that was more of a 90s thing.
I think it was more of a Wheaties thing also. I never had Wheaties as a kid, so.
I don't know. I think, because I don't even really remember seeing celebrities on cereal boxes in the store.
Is Wheaties still a cereal? I thought it was defunct, honestly.
It probably is. It's the breakfast of champions. Yeah, it still has athletes on it. Serena, the tennis lady. Serena Williams. That's the name. That's what pulls up, at least, you know. When you
What's
look
really funny about Serena Williams is that, like, for her to practice for her tournaments, she plays with like ranked 200 or 300 men's players.
Oh.
Like, she would not even crack the top 100 of men's tennis players. When I learned that, I was like, damn.
It's like saying that it's like comparing throwing women into baseball. Men are just bigger. Like, they throw faster, they hit harder.
Well, the WNBA also is.
I mean, yeah. I like jokes, I like sports.
You already made it into a racial thing like 5 minutes in. But it's probably a good primer for what's going to be upcoming.
Well, now that we've tackled racism, we're now going to judge all the women in our lives.
Well, not all of them.
Well, no. Just the birds.
Just the, you know, people we had a romantic or, you know...
People.
It's hard to draw the line.
Women who aren't family members.
Yeah.
That's the line. Except for one cousin.
I mean, the thing is, there's so, like, how far back are we going also?
See, yeah, I don't know, that's up to you. Honestly, I was writing down, like, the list, and I only got to, like, 7 people. It's kind of hard for me to remember. Like, I'm not, so I'll tell you what I've got so far, the people on the list. This is for both of us. And this is, like, post-mission. I don't know if we want to go before that or anything. So I've got Chrissy, obviously, June, Amanda, Magda, Sabina, Haley, Selena, Kate. I thought Kate would be a fun one.
Oh! No, that would be too mean.
That's why it'll be fun.
Oh, fuck. I don't know. I feel like that's...
No, you're not.
That might be a bad call.
I mean, it's up to you. You know, you have to have a unanimous decision. But personally,
well, we don't each have to rank both, do we?
What do you mean?
We don't both have to rank each one, do we?
I mean, yeah, you could abstain from answering, I suppose. But...
Was Allie one of the people you included?
Oh, nope, I hadn't written Allie yet.
See, you
I
always
forget about her. Because, you know, I never actually... So, you know...
I mean, you remembered Kate, so what are you telling me?
Oh.
Well, what are you trying to say?
Oh, she's a 10.
Oh my god. I always knew you liked fat bottom girls, but...
Oh. Honestly, when you can just stick your dick
good
anywhere...
song, but... That's already too mean. That's the problem. It's like... I don't know.
Okay.
I guess I'm still fat, so it's sort of like, you know, the N-word pass for black people. It's like, if you can say it if you are one, you know?
You call people fat if you are fat?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still, you know...
You're still...
My BMI is still 42, so...
And also, I think once you've become thin and you were as fat as you were, it's permanent. It's like... You can't become unblack, right? You never lose the N-word.
Well, I mean, Michael Jackson is...
Yeah, but he can still say it.
Yeah, he can still say it.
So, you know, that's what I'm saying. Is once you're fat, you can definitely judge fat people. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Because, like, I lost the weight. You can too, you know, fatty. Like, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
You earned that right. You know, I can only make fun of, like, moderately overweight people. Like, I was up at 230, you know. It's like, I can make fun of chubby people. Like, Tom Segura level, kind of. Like, middle-aged chubby. I can be like, come on, dude. You know, like, don't be such a fatty. But, like, you know, Kate's dangerous territory. That's why I need you to really rail.
Well, yeah, for me, it's like, I can kind of say it, because I think she's slightly bigger than me.
It's so hard to say.
It's hard. She carried it in different places.
Yeah, honestly. Okay, let's save it. Let's save it for the judgment. Okay.
Okay. I feel like.
Do you want to do like high school, like Hannah?
Oof, yeah, Hannah should be on there probably.
Okay. I don't really have any from high school, let's be honest.
You could put Catherine on there as well.
Okay. I
I
did
did go
have
on like 7 or 8 dates with her.
I did have one girl in high school who I'm pretty sure was a meth head who was like really into me, you know.
Oh.
So, you know, she was chasing that dick.
Well.
Anyway,
Yeah, I mean, I thought we were mostly gonna focus on like YSA people. I feel like you could put the Daily Sisters in there as one entity.
I suppose.
You could.
I mean, I didn't really interact too much with them.
Well, I'll tell you, there was one time that we had that swim party, and Kathy's swimsuit was completely see-through, and I busted a good 3 to 5 nuts thinking of that in the preceding or the following week, you know.
Okay, so I've got Chrissy, June, Amanda, Magda, Sabina.
You can take the Daily Sisters off. That was mostly what I wanted to say. Well, I just, that one experience was... Also, I have to say, when we were moving away...
I gotta say.
Yeah. And when we were moving away, I remember, like, the last day we were at the YSA Ward, we gave a bunch of people hugs. And she easily gave the best hug of all the people I hugged. Which I feel like she gets props for that.
That's fair.
There are some people who are hugging you, but they
don't put their soul into it.
They don't want all of it, you know?
Yeah.
They just want some of the hug. But she was, like, willing to take the whole hug.
Oh.
You know?
I mean, yeah.
Like, if you're touching them from your shoulders down to your thighs, that's a real hug.
That's nice, yeah.
You know?
Honestly, especially for someone like her, who you had almost a negligible relationship with.
Honestly, it really... I remember saying out loud to her at that time, I was like, wow, that was of all the people I've hugged, that was the best hug I've had. So, I feel like she was genuinely, like, a loving person. Even though it was sickening at times.
You got the good shit, for sure.
Did you talk to him about that?
No, you can just see it.
Oh.
It's like...
I mean, I never saw them after they were married. So, I know you did, like, well... Didn't you see them at one point?
I mean, you can just tell that she was going to give it to him. You know, the good stuff. Like, she wasn't going to get into the freaky stuff for at least a year. Like, you could tell that. Like, no anal for probably
honestly,
5 years at least. But, like...
no, I feel like she's puritanical enough that would never happen. In this day and age, it's still hard to say, but...
Yeah, it's...
I mean, their family was pretty sheltered.
That's true, but, you know, it's the quiet ones.
You could be right. I mean, I'm inflating just thinking about it, so...
Oh, honestly, it's...
No, well, it's... Yeah, I'm at, like, 20%.
Mental inflation.
Yeah, mental inflation.
Okay. So that's all we have to say about the dailies.
Well, we didn't even mention Abby.
Yeah,
we just went on that one double date with her, and she
apparently just had a terrible time, or whatever.
I guess she did. I mean, she kept pointing out how unhappy I looked, and I was like, I'm having a fine time.
Wasn't it afterwards that someone told us that she had like a terrible time or something?
I feel like she just admitted it. We confronted her about it, and she was like, yeah, that, you just seemed like you didn't want to be there. And I was like...
Yes.
I don't know how else to emote that I'm doing fine. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like it was a smashing success, but...
I mean, when you pay $45 to go on a date with somebody who was, like, not your first choice... to be going on the date with, it was,
Was it that much?
I mean, it's dinner for 4 people. It was like, I think we split it.
Yeah,
but...
it was like 20 or something, whatever. Anyway, yeah. Okay, so anyone else on the list?
I mean, we could add them if we need to. Let's just get into it.
All right.
Well, we should preface this by saying, I think most, if not all of these people, well, I don't know about Sabine, but like I think it's clear that some of these people we cared about a lot, and we probably still care about them at least somewhat. So it's like this is all meant to be in good fun, and we're not like.
Except for one of you, who we genuinely dislike.
Yeah. Well, I mean we both have people that we don't like as much as others on
Yeah,
this list.
like some of us are gonna rate people more or less, and
But I mean, I doubt they'll ever see this, so it doesn't really matter. But
it doesn't. Okay, so I'm gonna lay out the premise of our judgment. We have 7 basic categories.
did we even explain in general what we're doing?
Yeah, we're judging birds.
Oh, yeah, we're rating them,
Yeah,
not just judging.
that's true.
We're assigning the numerical values to them,
That is correct. We're assigning numerical, and by
which
birds,
a lot of people would say is much worse than just judging.
by birds, we are referring to, of course, women who you take home and wear out. The Dave Chappelle definition.
These are just females that we've been entangled with.
Anyway, so the 7 basic categories that they can get from a 1 to 10 on are the physical satisfaction, which we are, and each category correlates to a song. So that one's Why Don't We Do It in the Road? So that's their road factor.
Which is a real song, if you're unaware.
Yeah, by the Beatles.
It's on the White Album.
So, that's their road factor, is how good the physical relationship was. We've got how good they were at conversation, so that's the sweet-talking woman factor.
Well, how good, it's not just how good they were, but how good was the conversation between us.
Also, yes. So, like, how much was conversation enjoyed?
Yeah.
Between the two parties. The third factor is trust, which is the don't let me down factor.
Oh!
That's how intimately you shared with each other.
Yeah.
At least with them. So it's, how much of yourself did you give to the other person?
Well, I feel like it's kind of... I feel like they could score highly for either.
What do you mean?
Like, even if they just shared a lot with you, they could,
Well, see,
and you enjoyed that, you could still score that fairly high.
That's fair. I think, though, in general, all of these relationships, the trust was probably fairly reciprocal. Like, very rarely do you have a relationship where someone reveals a lot more than the other person, unless you're, like, a therapist.
Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
The thing is with me also is I tended to develop relationships where I was the therapist.
That's true. But you also overshare sometimes, but not of your own life, other people's lives. So.
Maybe that's my problem with oversharing, is I just am dying to tell people things about myself, but I know that they don't care, so I just tell them other things that they will care about.
Or maybe it's that you don't actually trust them enough to tell them about yourself, but you want to share something, juicy. So you just share something about me, or, other people.
Yeah, something like that.
Anyway. So yeah, that's the don't let me down. The next one is the emotional investment. So that's, how...
That's our emotional investment.
Our emotional investment towards the bird. So that's the...
And we're defining that as at the time we were in the relationship, not now.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's a granted. But that's the something factor, something in the way she moves. So that I think that's tied to projection, that whole thing. The next one, we didn't actually settle on a song for this one. The next one is change. So how much you...
I thought we settled on Changes by David Bowie.
See, I think we talked about that, but then we were like, oh, that doesn't fit as...
Well, then you said I Will Survive.
And then we talked about I Will Survive. I didn't actually write down our final decision, so I'm not sure what it was.
I still think In My Life works probably the best because it's a reflective song, but yeah, it's how much we grew from these experiences with that person.
Yeah. So
how much you take away.
It's the changes I will survive in my life factor.
And it could be negative changes also that they damaged you, and you had to recover.
Yeah. So basically, it's
In which case they'll just get a really low score.
basically it's how good was the relationship for you. Like how much did it do for you post relationship? Did it benefit you as an entity to have in your past?
We're basically doing postmortems on all these relationships,
Basically.
except the one that you're currently in.
Oh, well,
But
yeah.
we're doing a live autopsy on it.
Yeah, she's still screaming. The next category is reciprocation. So that's how much the bird reciprocated feelings, basically. How much
We perceived,
in our perception. Yeah.
It's how satisfied we were with their reciprocation.
If this goes well, we might do a reach out episode where we ask these ladies to judge with us, which I feel like,
I don't know if I could do that.
Really?
I mean, most of them are married now, so it would make it super awkward. That's the thing.
See, that sounds amazing. Honestly, I might start. I might try to work that out. We'll see what happens.
If you want to do all the contacting, then I mean, we'll have to think about that. I don't know if I'm comfortable with that.
I'm gonna reach out to them, and then if we abandon ship, that's fine. But I'll probably reach out to all these ladies.
I would wait.
I mean,
we can talk about that later. I definitely have objections to that.
Anyway, seventh category is thanks for the memories. So that's basically just how much do you enjoy the memories of the relationship. So that's,
And, sort of, do you have any good stories that you enjoy telling?
Good stories come out of it, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then there's an eighth category, which instead of 1 to 10, it's just a check mark or an X. It's just a yes or no. It's, if you had the option, would you do it all again? Which means, do you regret the relationship, or are you glad you did it? So, there we go.
Yep.
That's it.
I feel like my face is red already. I'm probably going to take this hat off. My haircut is just so...
Get the
like
hair
a 7-year-old.
up there. A little, wet in there, and... It's the hair down on the forehead that makes you look like a kid.
I know.
Like, when you fluff it up, it looks, pretty good.
It's fine.
Anyway,
Your hair looks bad all the time, so I don't... It actually doesn't look too bad right now, but... It's just so strange.
I can actually do a full ponytail now. I actually have,
I mean... You just look like a drug addict, but...
Honestly, I've just grown my hair out for the meme, but I think I'm just gonna keep doing it for the meme. I'll just give it 5 years.
Oh my god.
Just because.
You're turning into your dad. I swear to God.
Well, that's a whole other story. He did it because God told him to.
Oh!
Which,
even so,
I don't know
it's
if I've told you that before, but
no, yeah, I knew that.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I definitely knew that. That was, I feel like, one of the first things that we even talked about. I was like, hey, what's up with your dad's hair?
Yeah. Honestly, in the church, that was, anyone who met me was like, wait, your dad's that loud one with the long hair, right?
He's just so distinct looking. Even if you're not in the same ward, you just see him and you're like, you know who that guy is.
Without ever holding a position of leadership, he was very involved in many things. He was always just around the youth. He was always, chaperoning and volunteering and, going to campouts and things like that. So, everyone, knew of him. If you saw him, you'd be like, I know that guy. Long hair and but no one really knew who he was because he had never had a position of leadership. It's pretty fun. Anyway, so do we want to do this chronologically?
I mean, it's gonna be tough because some of the chronology of these lasts anywhere from like 4 years to 2 weeks.
I think the beginning of the relationship would be, when you.
When the relationship started,
Yes. Would be.
and we should go backwards.
Yeah, do the most recent to the
Yeah,
oldest? Okay.
I would say so.
Well, then for me, that's obviously Magda.
Mm,
Oh.
I'm gonna rate her too.
Okay. Let me just.
I would say sexual gratification. I give her an 8.
Oh! God damn!
Okay, a 7.
Wow. I give her a 10,
I give her a 10.
Best sex I've ever had. So,
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Should we even go into that?
if you want to.
We could just leave it at that.
I mean, yeah, it's large quantities and high quality. No complaints here.
Oh, I meant, for my part.
We might just leave it alone.
Yeah, we'll just leave that a mystery.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Okay, next up, conversation. I'm going to give her a 8.
I give her a solid 2.
Oh, that's fair.
Well,
She doesn't really
I don't
talk
know.
too much when you're here.
I could bump her to a 3 just because the things she does say are, nice and pleasant most of the time, but she's still a bit shy around me. She just hasn't warmed up to me yet.
Yeah, she takes a while to really start talking. Like I told you, the week we were at my family's, just by the end of it was like starting to talk on her own to people.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this trip in October in the first place, is just so that we'd be forced to be together for a long enough period of time where it was like she would just have to talk to me.
Brilliant. Trust, she's gonna get a 10 on that one too. I've told her.
You trust her more than you trust me?
I'd say it's the same.
Interesting.
It's the same, but it is a little different. Yeah, emotionally, I would say I trust you.
I mean,
same.
I would expect you to trust her more or the same than me.
I mean, I don't think there's anything... Like, I can't think of any secrets I've kept from either of you at this point, so...
Except the ones you've kept from yourself.
Oh, yeah, I trust either of you as much as I trust myself, at least. Which
I don't know if you're bonking on the table, but I can hear it in the mic.
Sorry, my bad.
Whatever you're doing.
Okay. Yeah, so I give her a 10 for that. I mean, you would probably get a 10 for trust. I'm trying to think if there's anything I've told her that I haven't told you. I mean, obviously, like, there are things that we just don't talk much about, like previous birds. But that's not because I don't trust her to know those things. It's because it upsets her to hear them.
Yeah, I mean, you told me about the one girl that you had the relationship with when you were really drunk. I kind of forget her name, but...
Oh, Reen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't seem like that's something she would want to hear about, really.
I mean,
but...
I told her about that, though.
Yeah.
Like, we've talked about it. It's not something... I mean, that's not even something I think about on a regular basis anymore.
Yeah.
But, it is, like... It was a major emotional toll that was formative to me. So...
Yeah.
And it was very private, also. Yeah, like you and... Actually, I told Corey about it, too. Back before, like, as I was getting ready to leave on my mission. Like, he knew about the relationship.
Yeah.
So 3 people know about it in the world. Ish. Anyway, trust for Magda?
I mean, I give her a 1.
I'm telling that bitch nothing.
I mean, I just, there's a lack of experience at this point, but...
Emotion, I've got to give her a 10. You know,
Emotional investment's a 10.
I abandoned everything else for her, basically. Not that I have that much I actually want, but, you know, there's not much more emotional commitment than that, you know.
Well, I was thinking of that weird Japanese thing where, like, they'll kill anyone who looks at you or whatever. I forget what that's called. I don't know.
They kill anyone who looks at their lover, or
yeah, like any females who looks at you, they would just kill them or something. I forget what that's called. Like tsundere or something like that.
I've never heard of this.
I don't know. They played a video on Your Mom's House podcast where they were showing this guy who was like kind of, you know, R-worded.
Oh.
Who was very concerned about this situation.
About being killed for looking at women?
I think it's called tsundere, or however you say it.
Tsundere?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe
that's a different thing. I don't know.
That's like a plot device in where a cold character becomes warm and loving.
Okay, I can't remember then. Whatever. There's some word for it that I'm forgetting, but anyways, emotional investment. I give her a 5 or 6.
Okay, which one?
5. I mean, I'm invested in making the relationship work just because she's a part of your life.
Yeah, I mean, you don't.
But if things went south with you and her, then I wouldn't care that much.
See, I feel like emotional investment should be like the pain you would feel if things went sour.
I would feel that pain because of you, not her.
Okay.
But it still counts for something.
Interesting. All right, changes.
0.
That's fair. I mean, it's hard to say because it's currently ongoing. So this one's more of like a post-mortem look. I definitely have changed because of her.
I think it's somewhat of a chicken and the egg thing as well, where it's like, I think part of the reason you're having it, like you have a successful relationship now, is because you've already changed.
Also, yes. You know, it's because it's current. This one's kind of hard to judge with an outside perspective. So I
would say 6 or 7 at least.
Yeah, I was gonna put it at a 6. So I'll take that under advisement. I've got a 6. All right. Reciprocation.
I mean, I don't perceive you to have changed. Drastically, but there are definitely changes in you.
That's for sure.
I mean, you're still a deadbeat, but
it's true. I don't know if anyone can make me not a deadbeat.
Unless you have a time machine.
Anyway, reciprocation. It's either a 9 or a 10. I'm gonna actually put it at a 9.
Oh.
Because I think she has, she's a little stronger for me than I am for her. So, it's, but part of that is just the bias of she feels everything more strongly than I do. So, it's that kind of like, is she actually more invested, or is relative to her other investments? So, what do you compare it to? But I'm going to give that a 9.
Interesting. I mean, I give her a 5, I guess. I mean, she seemed very excited about the idea of us going on a trip.
She definitely likes trips. Like the idea of going on a trip definitely appeals to her. Like, she loves just going.
I just looked into that one.
Yeah. Like she really just wants.
I just wanted to take drugs, but
like she wants to go to Disneyland with me, and she wants to travel with me.
Disneyland is
or World, whichever. California.
It's land.
Okay.
It's like for kids though. It's not a I don't know.
It's you know, people who get excited about things get excited about it generally.
I mean, if you get a fast pass and just go on all the rides, and that's your main. See, the rides at Disneyland though were like family rides.
Yeah. See, I was saying like we
You need to go
Worlds
like
of Fun. Like Worlds of Fun is actually a fantastic theme park because it's minimal crowds and there's actually like 8 or 9 good roller coasters. Like pretty good roller coasters. It's
I would.
relatively
It's
cheap.
definitely not one of the favorites that I've been to. I would go to Knott's Berry Farm.
But see, for me, the crowds is a big thing. Like when I've gone to Worlds of Fun, the crowds are significantly less. Like I went to Universal Studios.
I guess anything in California is gonna be.
is gonna be jammed. That's why. I mean, I haven't been to a lot of like roller coaster places in the Midwest. I remember we went to Branson, Silver Dollar City.
I went to a Six Flags one time.
I
That was
went to a
in
Six Flags.
somewhere.
But yeah, I feel like actually theme parks in the Midwest have more like roller coasters than family rides and less crowds, which is kind of like that's why I would go to a theme park. Like I don't want to go and just see Mickey Mouse in a mascot costume. That doesn't appeal.
Yeah, I feel like if you're more than 4 years old, it's just not gonna do it for you.
Or 30 if you're a woman.
The whole Disney thing is a bit bizarre, but
I mean, they have the whole Marvel thing too. Honestly, it just people are such fans of things that I don't get that. Like the people just get really excited because it's a thing they like and it's related to the thing they like, and so they're like, "Oh, look, it's it's." I don't get it.
yeah, I don't know.
You know. I don't get how people get so excited about sports teams either. It falls in the same category for me. Like fanboys who get like really excited about anything Star Trek or like anything Marvel. It's the same as like a guy who really likes the sports team, Eagles, go Birds.
It's just a new religion.
It's
polytheism,
But anyways, like I can understand really liking the show and like you really want to watch the show all the time. And it's like, oh, Office thing. Like I really like The Office and I really like watching The Office.
If there was an Office amusement park though, like where they had like an office there that was set up the same way, and it was like you could go like eat Kevin's chili in the food court, like
yeah, it wouldn't appeal because it would just be chili. Like I can just make chili
yeah.
at home. Like it doesn't delude me into thinking that any of it is special just because it's related.
It would be funny if like you could go watch like you could watch a random 15 minutes of Varsity Blues. Like I can actually think of ways of making it really fun.
Like have a
Kevin
impersonator who just does a little.
No, like there's definitely like activities that they could have that would be funny.
See, but
you would have to like.
That's more like a themed party. That's like that's just like a friend throws a party with a theme, and it's like it's kind of fun.
Yeah,
and it's not like I'm not gonna pay to do that. Like I'm not gonna like pay to have an awesome office themed day. Like maybe we throw one together as like you make Kevin's chili and it's a potluck and someone else grills a foot or whatever, that sort of thing. Like it's foot shaped mashed potato like cakes grilled on the form grill. Like you can do shit like that, and it's like it's funny, but
you get into like the almost like chummy type of like it's almost cringe. Like only people from the Midwest would do this type of thing. I don't know.
It's just fanboy things. You just get excited because it references something else. But
yeah,
I don't know. Even themed parties in my mind are.
Okay, we're getting off topic. We need to.
Okay, birds. Back to Magda.
We have to right the ship a little bit. It's a long tangent about theme parks.
Thanks for the memories.
I mean, I have virtually no positive memories. Or, I mean, they're neutral, but there's no positive memories of her yet. So
That's fair. So, 0 or 1?
I mean, I guess a 2.
Oh?
As I think about it, there's some occasionally times where, well, I mean, for the same reason as the sexual gratification, actually, I'd have to push it up to a 7.
Oh? But that's not a memory of her. That's a memory of me describing her.
Well, it's a memory of my brain that my brain created.
Damn.
Well, we'll do a 5.
Final score?
We'll do a 5.
Okay, do it all again. I've got to give that the yep. If I had the option, I would do it all again. Option.
I mean, no.
That's fair. Okay, working backwards from Magda. Next up, I have Selena.
Oh.
Who was...
Yeah, I can't rank her really at all.
My booty call over the summer. Physical, I'd have to give her a 7. Oh, maybe an 8. You're just an A. Conversation, I'd put her at like a 4. Trust, that's actually, trust for her is like an 8. Because she was anonymous, like, it's one of those things where, kind of like if you're talking to a therapist, they know no one you know, so there's no threat of, exposure. So you can actually tell them, terrible things about yourself.
When I was a cashier, people used to just occasionally tell me insane things because they knew that, like, I just would never see them again.
Yeah. So she actually had a pretty high trust factor because it was, not that meaningful of a relationship. Emotion, yeah. That's going to be like a 2. Like, if she had died suddenly, I would have been like, oh, fuck. Damn.
Yeah.
But changes, this is a hard one. I have to kind of think, like, was it her... I have said I think that this relationship prepared me for my relationship with Magda. I'm going to put her at a 6.
I mean, it's just a formative time period in life in general, also.
Yeah. It's hard to not go through changes when you're in between the ages 12 and 27.
I'd say 24 is when it really starts to slow down, but
depending
from what I've heard.
Yeah. Okay, reciprocation, that's a 10. That's spot on. We both knew exactly where we were. We were,
Brilliant.
Thanks for the memories. I'm going to have to say that's a 9 as well. I've got some good memories.
Nice.
And I would definitely do it all again.
Nice.
Alright, moving backwards. So,
I could do some of the pharmacy females.
That's true, if you want.
That one female that I had I liked in the pharmacy.
Do the pharmacy female the most
Christina.
One. Let's
see. Yeah.
Okay. So Christina on physical, what's that ranked?
I would say 6.
Okay.
What's interesting about her is that I was really attracted to her, even though I didn't think she was conventionally attractive, which was fascinating to me. But she was also like 20 years my senior, which kind of helped. If you know what I mean.
I know.
it is really interesting to find someone who's like 40 years old who still hasn't gotten their life together yet.
Oh.
Like, there's a certain amount of like the innocence of that is somewhat attractive in a way. I
Yeah,
guess you.
that's fair.
Are you gonna keep telling me the categories
Oh,
so
yeah.
I can rank them?
Conversation.
I'd have to say 9.
Okay.
I mean, it was very like it was lighthearted, but I really enjoyed being around her. Like, even though we were at work and I was like not enjoying being at work, I enjoyed it just because we were talking and stuff.
That's good. All right, trust.
5. It's pretty. It was fairly surface level. I mean, I did tell them all your secrets, but
All right, emotional investment.
I'd say 5 as well.
Okay.
Maybe 6.
Which one?
Yeah, 6.
All right.
Yeah, like I definitely felt it more after I was gone than I did while I was there. So, you know, it is what it is.
Okay. Changes.
1.
Oh.
It didn't really change me at all. I mean, being in the pharmacy reminded me of how good I am at just talking to girls and like having it be like just flirty enough where they really enjoy being around me, but like I don't know, I just get along with females really well, I feel like in a social way. I can just step into that environment of like it's me and 3 other women there and like I rock and roll. Like I do just fine. So
Oh.
as long as they're not crazy, you know. If you introduce one other guy into that situation, totally different story.
Yeah, it's.
But if it's just like me and 3 women, I'm golden. I do really well. And you can play them against each other like insanely easily. Like if you just pay more attention to one of them than another, they definitely notice that. And it's pretty funny.
I mean, you have stories about that.
Oh yeah. That is so hard to balance when they actually both want your attention. I actually forgot about that until you just said that. We'll have to get into that more when we talk about grapes.
Oh.
Because that was really funny.
That was pretty funny. Okay. Thanks for the memories.
Yeah, 8. Well, no, that's too high. 7.
Okay. And reciprocation. Actually, I missed that one.
Reciprocation, I would have to say 9.
You were locked in.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think she liked me more than I liked her. In, like, a friend type of way. Like, it wasn't really ever a romantic thing. It was just, like...
She was so much older than you that...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, I think as friends, like, she enjoyed being around me a lot. So...
That's fair. Okay, and then...
Do I do it again?
Do it all again.
I mean, I would never want to work in a pharmacy again, but I would definitely be friends with her again. In fact, if I moved back to Mesa, like...
You might look her up.
I mean, you know, you never know. I feel like just calling them up and saying like, "Hey, I'm moving back to Mesa. Anyone who wants to like come get a drink with me now that I'm of age, that would be cool."
Like calling the store up?
Well, I have her cell phone number.
Okay.
It's on my other phone actually. I would have to go get it, but
And like just telling her like, hey, you can let everyone know there that, or everyone you think would be appropriate, that if you want to come get a drink with him.
I mean, it would basically be her and Ron are the only people I actually care about seeing again. But I could just ask her to go get a drink, and I guess that would be kind of a come on. But
I mean, it'd be flattering.
see, the problem as well is that like in the workplace, like there was never any competition.
Yeah.
But like if her actual like boyfriend was there, then that would be really uncomfortable.
Oh.
Hard to say. Okay, let's move on.
Right.
I mean, that was pretty short and sweet. I just,
Yeah. It's not there's not too much content for that relationship.
Yeah.
Okay, moving backwards. Let's see.
For me, that would be Amanda.
Okay, let's do Amanda next then.
Wouldn't it be for you as well?
I think so.
Because you were involved after we moved to Mesa.
Yeah, she's the only
For the
one
most
left
part.
for Chris or Mesa timing.
Yeah. I mean, I had some interactions with Chrissy after this, but it's not really representative of the whole relationship.
That's fair.
But we can discuss that, though, when we get to her.
Oh. Okay, Amanda. Physical satisfaction. Why don't we do it in the road?
See, I feel like I did get a lot of satisfaction out of it, but I never got... I didn't ever quite get what I was looking for either.
Okay, here's the thing.
Never got feet pics.
See, okay, for me, I'm gonna have to give her a 2.
I was gonna say like 4.
Okay, so the reason I
it
give
was
her a
definitely
2
frustrating.
Well, one, so I was her first kiss, which...
Mm-hmm. I remember you saying it was very long.
Yes, it's very satisfying to have, like, taken that from her. But it wasn't physically satisfying almost at all.
Yeah, I remember you saying it was like...
She was very bad.
It's like a car wreck that takes 10 years to happen.
Yeah, it's
like you're just very slowly colliding. Like, it's like playing chess with your hands or, like...
It wasn't good. No.
Yeah.
There was a lot of flailing. She didn't want to, like... There was no groping, really. So, like, it was just kissing. Which...
How much of a horizontal position were you in?
Oh, not at all. We were sitting up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And were you facing each other?
We didn't go horizontal. So it was like both sitting on the couch, turned halfway, so you're at like 45-degree angles.
It just sounds so awkward.
So like your shoulders are facing each other and your faces are.
Yeah.
Like your body's slightly twisted, sort of thing.
It seems very uncomfortable.
And like, I had a hand on the thigh, sort of thing.
Oh!
She didn't, she wasn't wanting me to go for, a titty grab or anything like that. I don't know.
See, that's the difference between me and you, is I know I would have gone for it.
I mean, I went for some ass grabs and she got a little upset, so, I was like, well, damn, okay.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. You don't go straight for the titty.
Yeah, there's a progression of things.
Yeah.
You start to the thigh.
That's fair.
And then, depending, you might go for the ass or the stomach. Like, those are kind of the two directions you can go.
I would say up to the stomach is more my inclination.
It depends on the positions of the two people.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think in that position, I did go towards, like, the side first, and that was okay. And then started going, lower back ass, and that was okay. So,
Okay.
You know, without groping, just kissing for 2 hours is not fun.
Yeah, I remember you describing it, and I was like, I'm not jealous of that at all.
Yeah, it was more like a physical endurance sort of thing than like
It's like Hitler standing there with his arm raised for 3 hours, like he's just like all the blood is rushed down. He's just like,
like your fingertips are numb, you know.
yeah,
Honestly, like my lips were a bit sore afterwards. You know, they were well used. But okay, so we'll get to the memory. I have a great memory from those nights, though. So we'll get to that. I think.
Well, I remember, yeah, the brother was there or something, right?
That's honestly,
Yeah.
she was so like.
I can imagine her distress. Yeah.
Because we were down in their basement, and the brother's room is down there, and she heard his door started to open, and she just gave me a shove. She like pushed me back to the seat, and I was just like, okay, you know. And the brother walked out. I was like, hey, what are you two doing? She's like, just talking,
Just playing checkers.
just, you know. It was pretty.
Yeah,
funny.
it's pretty funny. Okay, so so I gave her a 4.
Okay, next up is.
I had a few good
conversation.
dreams.
Oh yeah. Why
I did have
you
an elaborate murder fantasy, which was kind of nice, but
Oh.
I don't know if that really falls under the sexual gratification category as more as just,
I mean, it didn't satisfy any of the other categories, so.
yeah. I did have a dream also where, she was drugged and, well, she was drugged. Not by me. I just,
The real question
I
is,
came upon the scene.
if we reach out to these women to see us grade them, do we let them see this first?
I really don't want any of that to happen.
I think we should ask them to grade us without showing them this.
On these same categories,
Yes.
I feel like that's a horrible idea.
For you, or like for your self-esteem, or
I just don't want to go there. I feel like enough of it is resolved for me at this point that I don't want to stir things up again.
Okay. See, to me, I feel like it's so resolved it couldn't be stirred.
Yeah, that's not the case for me.
Okay.
At least with some of the people.
I feel like I could have a post-mortem with Amanda that was mostly just good humor.
See,
I understand your relationship with June.
I have a lot of resentment towards Amanda, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Still?
Well, I don't know about a lot, but I definitely resent.
See, she's
things.
fallen into the category of a goddamn bitch, just like all other women. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
She's a goddamn bitch, but so is everyone. So, no hard feelings sort of thing. That's how I feel about it. But
Yeah,
I also feel that way about, Hitler and, Stalin.
I don't know. I definitely was well, because the thing is, our relationship went through a number of different, it progressed quite a bit over time. It changed drastically.
Yeah.
And the problem is that the worst part of the relationship happened at the very end.
Wait, really?
Maybe not the absolute worst part, but some of the worst parts of it for me was at the end. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, we'll have to talk about. Well, okay. So the next category is conversation, which I think she's the high scorer for this one. She's a 9 for me. I really enjoyed talking to her.
I would say 7, maybe 8. No, 7.
So yeah.
Well, the relationship as a whole was not that great. We had a few really good discussions.
Yeah,
But
for me, almost our entire relationship was just chat, just talking, just conversation. So it was enjoyable.
I mean, also, like, I was actually at that time trying to be a good listener, and so I ended up listening to a lot of her, like, complaining about things that, like, I really didn't care about at all.
Brilliant. See, I mean, I listened to her complain a lot, but most of the time that was just cannon fodder for me to make fun of her, which
But, like,
worked out.
after the two of you basically broke up or whatever, or it wasn't even really broken up, but it was just after that happened,
Yeah.
I had to talk to her on the phone for like an hour and a half.
So yeah, and it was just her
Just about her like turmoil about the relationship.
Yeah.
So it's like there were some really good conversations we had, but a lot of the conversations we had were just her talking about her turmoil. And like also after that, so this would have been in January of last year. Wow, it seems like it's way longer ago than that.
January of 2020 or 2019?
2019.
I mean, it's a year and a half. It's been a year and a half since then.
It seems like it's been way longer than that. But anyways, like she called me from BYU, Idaho, and we talked on the phone for like 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And that happened. We talked for a grand total of like 20 hours that month or something.
We moved in 2018, right?
Yeah.
Here?
Like August 2018.
Yeah, we're coming up on 2 years now.
Yeah.
I mean,
but anyways.
Yeah, I think, and the thing is, well, I guess she was a good enough conversationalist as well that we really never ran out of things to talk about. And that's part of it too, is like, while I was here, we talked for probably on average an hour and a half a day.
Yeah, I had never had anywhere near that level of
and like very rarely did we
talk to her.
Run out of things to talk about. But
I mean, part of the issue as well is I think you and her understood each other pretty well, but she didn't understand me almost at all, I don't think.
Yeah, I think...
Like, I understood her pretty well, but I don't think she really understood me at all.
That's fair.
Like, she didn't...
I think you mostly just filled a listener role, more so.
Yeah.
For her, like, that's... You got to, like, joking, and she could tell you some stuff, sort of thing, but she never really dug into you.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, the few things I did tell her, I feel like she just thought was funny and, like, didn't take it seriously. So.
Oh. Brilliant. Alright, so trust. It's been a while now. I have to think back.
3.
She was probably like a 6 or 7.
I feel like she trusted us a lot more than we ever trusted her. Maybe that's just true for me, but she told me a lot of things, and, you know, I did not reciprocate that very much.
I gotta say like 6.
I'd say 3.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. Again, like, you took on sort of the therapist role sort of thing.
I feel like I had to. Like, I couldn't just not do that, but
yeah,
I didn't really want to.
You have all these, like, moral compunctions to be there for people.
Well, and at a certain point, the whole problem is that it got to a point where that was starting to affect me a lot, and I realized that and tried to end things, and she was, like, just freaked out. I basically, I put on Twitter...
I do remember that.
Because what happened was I was driving home from Non and Hazel's house, and I saw the moon, a crescent moon, and I was like, ugh. And I could tell, like, just looking at the moon was causing me such turmoil that I was like, I know where this is really coming from.
Oh.
And so I tweeted, I was like, I don't think I can do this anymore. And she called me within 5 minutes.
It's brilliant.
And I think
So
that was
did
the
she
first
think you
time
were
I ever
gonna
had a
commit
panic
suicide?
attack. I'm not sure. I think she was like, what's going on?
Okay. I mean, I'm not saying that we talk about suicide all the time, but more than most people would have. You know, it concerns people on occasion.
See, and as soon as she called me, I pretty much started having a panic attack. And I drank 6 shots within probably 10 minutes.
Brilliant.
That was the first time that I was like legitimately used alcohol, like
Like, abused it.
abused it, yeah. Like because I was just like, get me out. Like I was trying to like pull the escape
Yeah.
latch, you know?
Brilliant.
And I was like hyperventilating and she was like, what's going on? And I was like, I can't talk. Like I was like, I don't know what to say.
All that from a tweet.
I didn't expect her to call me right after that. I was still in turmoil. And then she was like, you embarrassed me. And I was like, I embarrassed you? What does that matter right now? And she's like, well, you started freaking out and my friends like started laughing. And I was
Wait,
like,
what?
why did...
Like, on the phone?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I was like, what, was I on speakerphone or something? And she was like, well, I mean, they could hear you. And I was like, oh.
This goddamn bitch. See, I forget about that part. About, you know, that whole thing.
See, that's the part of the relationship that was really tainted to me, is like, she did this weird thing where she like wanted to be friends, but then like,
Yeah.
she didn't care about me that much.
She wanted the benefits without the payments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because we weren't anywhere near each other, she thought that it was like, it just wouldn't matter to me.
Yeah.
They just don't understand the price I pay.
Brilliant.
I remember saying that to myself at the time. Like listening to Mr. Brightside, and I was like, it's just the price I pay, you know? I don't even know what category we're on.
We're on emotion. Emotional investment.
Investment, I would say... anywhere from 5 to 7 is fair for me. Depending on the period of time it was. So I'd say 6 on average.
That's fair. I would say it's probably an 8 for me.
See, and the thing is like when you feel like someone needs you, that is like ropes you in.
Yeah.
So,
You know, because we all just want to be needed.
but again, like one of the reasons I wanted to end that relationship is because it was too much of an emotional commitment to me
Yeah.
that I didn't want.
It was growing too much without being reciprocated.
Yeah.
I mean,
So yeah, I'll go to 6. I kept things at bay. They could have been more than that, but
okay, changes.
well,
I mean, this relationship is what convinced me to just give up on religion. Basically. I mean, it was the terminal illness.
I would say 7. It had an effect on me a lot too.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to say this one's probably an 8.
I don't. It didn't have as much to do with the religion for me. That was sort of a separate issue.
I mean, yeah,
It did. It did make me want to commit suicide on a couple of occasions.
yeah, it's. I mean, that was a big.
It motivated me to lose weight more than a lot of the other relationships I've had. Because I was like, this is a prime example of somebody who would like me more
Yeah, if you were.
and who would care about me more if I wasn't unattractive. Like, it was clear that she didn't care about me as much because of the way I looked.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there were some
So,
changes.
I would say 7.
Alright, reciprocation. This is a hard one.
I have to give it a 1 after what we just discussed. It was just completely unbalanced the whole way through. It was like pushing and pulling. It was like she never wanted to be around me when I was really interested in her.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, as soon as she didn't have anybody else, she came, like, running back and was, like, needed somebody to talk to all of a sudden, you know?
This goddamn bitch. See, it's hard for me to. I honestly, I have no idea. I'm not entirely sure. I probably want to put this at about a 5. Is my guess. Like, on average. Because I know that she had strong feelings at some points.
See, here's the thing.
I'm not sure how much of that was actually for me. You
Well,
know, that's the whole.
We talked about this a lot, and it was like you had the same relationship with her that I had with June, which was that she needed us not because she loved us, but because she loved somebody else.
Yes, but she also loved me. At least she deluded herself into thinking so.
I'm inclined to think that she didn't really, but
Well, that's
hard
you
to
know.
say.
I mean, she said she did. You know, that's like at what point. That's why I put it as low as 5. Because even if she said she loved me, you know, how much?
Like her
was
actions
really
didn't
for me?
prove that.
Yeah, like she loved the idea of me, the concept. Sort of.
When you were far away and you never actually saw each other in person, she enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
When I
Yeah.
existed as an idea rather than a person.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole situation, like I said, like it's I would never like I wouldn't want to ask her how she feels about me because it's just like or to rate our relationship because it's just like I don't know.
Eh.
There's
See, I think, and also I can say, I think I genuinely caused her turmoil. You know,
satisfying.
which she
So.
had to have some emotional investment in at least the idea of me for me to be able to cause her turmoil.
This is true.
So, you know, it's definitely not no reciprocation. So that's why I put it mid-level, you know, at a 5.
Yeah, I wouldn't say none. I'd give her a 3.
All right, thanks for the memories. It's bittersweet.
It is. Like, I have a lot of good memories of her, and I have a lot of really bad memories. That's the problem. And the thing is that some of those happened within, like, 10 days of each other. So it's really, like, it's
Honestly?
really hard to quantify it, you know?
It is very funny because the whole letter thing. You know how she wrote me a letter? I don't know if you remember that. Anyway,
I remember you writing her a letter. I don't remember hers.
so I wrote her a letter and she responded, and it was really interesting because I knew she had written the letter, sort of thing. It was like, and then she started because she had written the letter her responses began to change in our relationship. And, once she had said it out loud, sort of thing, she started to sour because the letter was pretty sappy. So it was really interesting because I received the letter by the time she had she had swung back.
Yeah, I remember this now. Yeah,
and so it was like the same day when I received the letter where she was at her most sappy, and when I was like, this isn't going to end well. It's like, there's no way this turns out good for me, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it was a very compressed time frame.
Yeah, I mean, that just speaks to how
It's pretty funny.
Her personality was so mercurial in many ways.
Yeah. She was also very scared of herself.
So, as far as thanks for the memories, I would have to say 7. Maybe a 6. Probably 7. I can still see a lot of good in it, even though there were some things that were really frustrating.
Yeah.
See, it wasn't painful as much as it was just very frustrating to me. Like, it's more of an anger thing in my memory than it is like a sadness.
That's fair.
I never got my feet pics either. That would have healed all of my wounds.
If you just got feet pics.
Because honestly, because I feel like
she would have at least paid you for.
There would have been some. There would have been some surrender on her part to give me what I wanted. Even though it didn't actually matter to me, it would have just been a symbol of the fact that she was willing to just do it just because I wanted it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. See, for me, I feel like more of the good comes from the changes than from the actual memories. In the part that would mostly be our relationship. So I'm actually going to give her like a 6 for this.
Did I say 6 as well?
I think you said 7? I don't know.
I'll stay with 7. It's fine. It'll be interesting how these add up.
It will be. Alright, do it all again. If you had the option.
Yes, I would, simply for the fact that it taught me a lot about what to look out for in the future.
Yeah, I mean, the changes in my mind were positive.
I feel like I learned a lot. I learned a lot about human nature from that interaction. And I learned something about myself too, which was that I remember telling you at the time, I was like, I'm ending this for my benefit.
Uh-huh.
And that was the first time I stood up for myself in that way.
Nice.
Any time in the past that a girl had needed a shoulder to cry on, I was there. But at a certain point I was like, I'm standing up for myself and not letting this just endlessly continue.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was good.
That's fair. You were finally abused enough to say no more.
There was definitely, I mean, I've hit a number of bottoms in my life, but...
Same.
Okay. I know it's coming up next, and I feel like I need a piss break before we get into this.
What's coming up next?
Well, I mean, the next in my chronology is...
June or Chrissy? Okay.
Well, yeah, Chrissy happened before June. Well...
Yeah, the timeline...
Before... Well, honestly, there should be different categories for June and Allison, almost.
Oh!
Because that was they're practically different personages in my mind. Anyways. So, I need a piss break, though.
Okay.
So entertain the folks.
Break. Oh, I have to entertain them. Oh. So I'm definitely going to reach out to these lady folks and just, tentatively, let's just get a feel if they would be even willing to, do a little post-mortem. Because personally, I think that'd be really funny. Maybe I'll even do it in secret and give it as like a present to Zach to cause him turmoil on Christmas. Just be like, you unwrap it and there's all these ratings of women who you used to know. That'd be good. I'll probably do that. Okay, let's add up some of these totals here. Of course, if he ever watches this, once it's been produced, obviously that'll be an issue. So, I'm not going to do that. Or I'll just actually tell him when I get it all done. If I had the option, I would do it all again. If I had the option, I would do it all again. I just wanna feel like I did the right program. Brockhampton, Junkie. Look it up. It's a bop.
I definitely feel like my face is thinning out.
I have trouble saying.
Well, hopefully, I'm hoping that like the next time you see me, you'll actually be able to like see a big difference.
That's fair.
Because even since the last time I saw you, I'm down like 20 pounds.
20?
So.
Yeah, I mean, that's significant.
Yeah, I weighed 317 the morning that I flew to Phoenix for Mother's Day. Weighed 317, and right now, this morning I weighed 296 something. So, by the time I see you in person, yeah, I could be down like 30 pounds or something. Possibly. Depending on how long it takes for me to get out of this place, so.
Just gotta get away from this place.
Alright, we ready to go again?
I think so. So we're on June?
Yep. Well, the thing that's interesting about our relationship is that we had a relationship like not as much, but like there was definitely a friendship in high school.
Uh-huh.
And then I didn't see her for like 3 years. Pretty much.
Because you were in different wards and didn't go to school together, right?
Well, she went off to college after my sophomore year.
Okay.
And I didn't see her in person again until I think until YSA. I could be wrong, but I think so.
That's fair. So yeah, pick whichever, whatever you want. You can just choose the latter relationship and then...
I mean, the second one was much more real.
Yes.
But... And really the problem is that I had met her before.
Oh.
The thing is, like, if we had never met before and I just had a new relationship starting in the singles ward...
You probably wouldn't have really had any relationship with her.
Well, probably not.
Because she wasn't really outgoing sort.
No. But the problem is that I was just carrying all of this baggage into the relationship,
Yeah. Well, let's get started on this.
Sexual gratification.
I got a zip on that one.
I would say
I got as much sexual gratification from her as I did from most 10-year-old boys.
I mean, the amount of times that I have,
Busted.
thought of her would probably indicate a fairly high score. But we'll stick with a 7.
Okay.
I've never actually had a vivid sex dream about her.
Liar. I mean, I guess define vivid. You've described some sex dreams to me that sounded quite vivid.
Like what?
Like the one where she was in red leather with Chrissy. I guess you weren't actually having sex with her.
Well, yeah, there were several dreams where she was in leather and she played the saxophone. But I never saw her naked in a dream. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
Like, I never saw anything besides what you would normally, like, with her clothed.
Oh. Nice.
So, in my mind, there was never an overt, like... It's different. Like, with Chrissy, like, I had sex dreams that was basically, like, the dream was like I was watching a porn of Chrissy.
Oh. Brilliant.
But I don't really remember the red leather very well.
Yeah, she was like the dominatrix, and she was having you,
I think she was just telling Chrissy what... Oh, that's right. She was telling Chrissy what to do.
Which... sounds pretty vivid to me.
Okay, I remember that now. Yeah. Yeah, it takes a while for the actual dream image to be recalled.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the dream image. I just remember you telling me that, and I was like, this fucker.
No, so it's the same dream I'm talking about, where I basically was seeing Chrissy and, like, it was in HD, like, I could see everything. And I remember during that, like, I was seeing that, and then I looked over, and I saw Adison, like, saying things,
Brilliant. Okay, conversation. She gets a 0 on this one, too. Okay, no, maybe she's like a 1.
I would have to say 9.
Yeah, you really enjoyed her. See, okay. She gets a 1 because she occasionally got a joke. But, like, when me and you were together...
She's not that funny. That's not really the point.
But the thing is, she's not funny, but she also didn't have much of a sense of humor. Like, a woman doesn't have to be funny, but they have to think you're funny for it to be entertaining. And when we were together, almost none of the jokes that we were laughing at, like, between us... or like any of the jokes that she found funny. Like, it was a completely different kind of humor that she found funny, and it just completely, I was like, eh.
See, the thing is that she just doesn't laugh that much. Like, there's things that, like, she's like... She finds a lot of things funny, she just doesn't laugh. That much. It doesn't seem like...
I suppose.
I'm not sure. I can remember there was a few times I made her laugh really hard, but it took some effort, so... I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, also the whole, like, the dark topics should not be talked about thing.
That's true.
Like, you couldn't go anywhere kind of dark.
That's true.
Which, just, most of my conversations, aren't spent in mamby-pamby like that. Like, just in general, my humor tends towards the darker side.
You're in the dark arts,
Yeah. Darker than a ship on the Atlantic in the 1700s. Okay. Trust. I've got to give her a 0 for this one.
Um, I'd say 8. Again, I feel like she trusted me a lot, and
Do you ever
I
tell her
held
about
back
your
because I had
fantasies?
to. No.
Honestly, I just want to send her the clip of us talking about that sex dream.
Like that we just said?
Yeah.
Or, oh. I mean, I would be really upset with you if you did that, but,
I know.
you know.
I won't. Okay. Emotional investment. This is
I
2 for me.
I unfortunately have to say 10, even though I wish that was not the case.
So for me, it's a 2 because, you know, she was a goddamn bitch. You know, it upset me that she upset you.
My problem is that I didn't know how to quit feeling that way. Like, I literally, it has not been until,
I wish I knew how to quit you.
honestly. I think the experience I had in February, while very high, the cathartic moment I had was probably the first time I was really able to let it go. Like, there were just times when I would wake up in the morning and I was just like, I can already tell my day's ruined. Because I would just like, it'd be the first thing on my mind when I woke up that day, and I was just like, well, the rest of the day's ruined.
Yeah, because you're not going to be able to stop thinking about it, you know.
Well, it would take like 5 hours. Like by lunchtime, I would generally be better, but yeah, like my problem was I just didn't like there was just not a mechanism for me to stop caring.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I wish it wasn't a 10, but it is what it is. So,
All right. Changes. 0.
10. I feel like. See, the strange thing about my life is that, like, the effect she's had on my life is very hard to overstate.
Yeah, I get that.
Like, and that's why I said, like, June and Allison are almost different people, because I feel like the actual human being that is out there right now, if you talk to her about this, like, she's had a very relatively low impact on my life.
Yeah.
In real terms.
Yeah.
Like, the actual amount of time we spent together or anything like that. But there was just something in my brain, like there was just a switch that flipped that I couldn't control. And like I said, I wasn't able to turn it off for like 7 years. Literally. So, like, the first time I ever felt that way was on my birthday, the night I turned 14.
Oh.
So.
The night you fell in love?
Well, it would have been New Year's Eve, basically.
Brilliant.
But. And that was when I was 4. Yeah, but yeah, like when I turned 14. So. It's not until after I turned 21 this year that I've really been able to.
That's 6 years, 7 years. Yeah, 7 years.
Yeah, it's 7 years. So. I don't know what it is about her that made that happen. I mean, I feel like a solid 30% of my personality is the way it is because of her. So it's like, and it could almost just be a random person. Like I said, the fact that it's even her,
it's almost more
I don't know if it's that
interaction
critical.
with your unconscious.
It's just my development of like a relationship with the anima in general that has just had such a huge impact on me. So it's really bizarre. I I still don't understand it at all. And I don't think, because of the age that it happened, I don't think that will ever happen again.
I mean, yeah, it's especially the amount of time it took and the fact that when you're 14, I mean, at least when you were 14, some people it happens when they're older. You can be completely, absorbed in the projection. Like there is no separation.
Yeah.
So.
And the fact that I literally had to separate her from the projection and create different entities was like, the good thing is, and the bright side of the story is that I did develop a real relationship with her as like her as a person.
Yeah.
And that was really special to me, obviously. Like if it's really good that happened, because I'm not sure I would ever have closure if it didn't.
That's fair. Yeah.
Like
it would have always just been just some entity dwelling in you.
Yeah. So, but the fact that I got to know her so well and like I saw her be so vulnerable, it helped me like that vision of perfection that was in my mind. I was able to like reconcile that with reality more.
Yeah.
So, would things have been different if I was, good looking? We'll never know, but I believe it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, maybe she loved Jake, but 2 years is a long time.
It's a long time, baby. So, like I said, it's hard to say, but... And I think we've talked about before, it's like...
the age difference, too, is not insignificant.
That's true.
Like, especially because you first met when you were, 13, 14, and she was 16, basically, 17, yeah. Right? She was like 3 years older than you. Which, right, like, right now, the age difference between you two is not significant. Like, 21, 24, not a big deal. Really.
Yeah.
But 13, 14, and 16, 17 is a pretty... Like, a 17-year-old does not perceive a 14-year-old as a peer for the most part. Like, it would be very...
No, yeah, and that's sort of my point, is, like, our relationship before, like, when we were in high school, and our relationship in YSA was...
different.
Not even close to being the same. So... What can I say?
Alright. Reciprocation.
I did it all for you and all for nothing.
Oh.
Reciprocation, I would give a 7. Because, I was going to say, we've talked about this before, but there are moments with her and with Chrissy where you, like, look deep into their eyes and you know that they're feeling, like, you know how they're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's like, you have this moment of clarity where you're like, you know that at least for that split second, they return your feelings. Even though they have to reconcile that with their life and, it doesn't last. But, like, there are definitely moments where, like, especially when we were about to leave, we were about to move away, I remember telling you this. I was like, I just stared into her eyes for like a solid 10 seconds, and she didn't break eye contact. Oh. And it's like, you both know what's going on when you do that.
Yeah.
Like, it's inescapable.
Brilliant.
I really want to just lose all the weight and then kill myself. It would just be so satisfying.
Brilliant.
Like, honestly, it would just... the amount of closure it would give me to do that would be so satisfying. But
I mean, it would close a lot of things out.
yeah. The thing with Chrissy on the merry-go-round was the first time I noticed that happened, and then after it happened, I was able to see it in Allison's eyes as well. That's the thing. Like, you get this little intuition about it, you know?
I mean, making eye contact for extended periods of time is telling. For sure.
But the fact, like, if someone doesn't break eye contact after 10 seconds...
There's trust there, yeah.
And they don't say anything either. Like, you're just silently staring at each other. What can I say?
So for me, actually, the reciprocation is a 9.
Oh.
Because I feel like she slightly wanted to be my friend, not really, and I didn't want anything to do with her. So we're just 1 point off on that one. She, like, just didn't want me to be unpleasant when both of us were around.
Well, did I say... I thought I said 7 for reciprocation.
Yes, you did.
Okay. But you said 9?
Yeah. Because we were on pretty much the same wavelength.
That's pretty funny.
I just hated her a little more. You know, it was more like she was ambitious.
See, I actually...
disliked her.
See, I actually think she tried to be friends with you because you're friends with me.
Yeah. That was it.
And
like, she tried a little bit. She didn't try very hard. Let's be honest.
That's true. That's true.
I'm not gonna say I'm the easiest person to be friends with either. I'm not really, like, you can't come at me soft-hearted. Like, especially if you're trying to be friends with me and I'm not trying to be friends with you, you're getting me full frontal. You know, like,
you have to work for it.
Yeah, it's
for sure.
And you have to be willing to accept some damage. Like, I'm not going to be kind to you like I would be if I was trying to court you or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, like Brett. I didn't come at him full frontal because I wanted to be his friend, you know. So I was a little bit more kind than I would have been if he was just trying to be my friend.
I really didn't like Brett.
Yeah.
If Brett's out there, I have nothing against him personally. I just hated him.
Brett, I still love you. I think you're great. If you ever see this.
That's exactly how I felt. I was like, I have nothing against him, but I hate him.
See, he's kind of like a puppy. That's how I felt about him. What can I say?
Poor kid.
Anyway. Okay, what's next? We've got
Chrissy should be next.
Memories.
Oh yeah, we saw more categories.
Thanks for the memory. She's got to be a 1 for me. You know, I have some decent memories about insulting her, but that's about it.
I have to say 10.
That's fair.
I hate that I have to say it again. Just to repeat myself, I hate that that's the truth, but it is.
If you had the option, would you do it all again?
Yeah.
Well, she's, I think, officially the lowest ranking for me.
Yeah, she'll easily be the highest one for me. Like, I don't see how anyone else could beat, like, 4 10s in a row.
Yeah.
Basically.
She managed to make it to 11 for me.
Well, and didn't you give a 9 in one category, so...
Oh, wait, no, I'm wrong. It's a 13. I missed the 2.
Such a shame. Wasted so much of my life. Like, just so much of my cognitive... Like, so much of my existence and energy has been spent on that it's like, it's really a shame. But... It's also, like, when I think of the top 3 happiest moments of my entire life, it all involves her. So...
Oh...
It's like all of the worst and all of the best moments of my entire life. so.
It's pretty hot.
What can I say?
Alright, is Chrissy up next?
I hope so.
Alright, let's...
She deserves it.
I don't know. Do we want to do Haley? Oh, actually, Sabina. See, some of these I don't know if they're worthy of grading. Like Sabina, like, do you have enough attachment?
We can run through it real quick.
To that?
I don't want to like elaborate on it, but
Yes. Yeah, physical. It's gonna be like a 3.
0.
Conversation. It's gotta be like a 2.
That's a -5 for me.
0. Trust. That's a 0.
0.
Emotion. That's a 1.
This is a 0.
See, the thing is, we have Kate on the list, but some of these are just gonna be. Okay, change.
0.
Reciprocation. That's
0.
actually probably like a 8. See, again, it's these relationships where there wasn't that much there are highly reciprocated because there's not much there. So that's like the.
Yeah.
So what's yours? Again?
0. For reciprocation?
Yeah.
I don't even think I existed in her mind.
That's fair. You only met her once, right?
No,
Awesome.
definitely like 3 or 4 times.
Wait, really? When else?
The time we went to Chili's
We
or
went to Chili's?
Applebee's maybe. I forget where it was. Daniel was there.
Oh, you were there?
Yeah.
That one? Oh,
There was a time we went to the game place where you play board games.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And there was a time when we were all at the office for like a pizza party or something.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So. And she made numerous appearances on the podcast because she waited until we were doing it and then called in.
That's fair. She did call on the podcast a couple times.
And it was pretty much dead air anytime that happened.
Oh.
Because you can't hear her on the mic.
Very
like, you
well,
can't
yeah.
hear what she's saying very well.
Yeah, it's
So,
just like muttering.
your phone back then really sucked.
Oh, it still does. It's basically the same phone.
I honestly am tempted to buy you a phone once I move there.
I think I've spent a total of like $100 on phones.
Okay.
Anyway,
What's the next category?
Thanks for the memories.
Honestly, I had a really good time in that hot tub. Like,
it
just
was
being
a
by
fun
myself. I give her a 4.
It's fair. See, here's the thing.
She's a
that
great
one
example.
story. She is. She's a fun story because she's just a bad person, you know.
She's a great example of a complete bimbo to me.
She gets a 7 for thanks for the memories for me. I really like the fact that was a thing.
I think it's the most fun I've ever had in a hot tub.
Oh. Do it all again? Sure. 0 effort. Why not?
Why not?
That one gets a why not?
Yeah.
Alright. Let's see. Who else is on the list here? We've got Allie. Hannah and Catherine are high school ones for you. Kate, Haley, and Chrissy. Those are the ones that we have left on the list.
I don't even want to talk about Haley, but
I mean,
let's just do it. Let's just quickly do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Physical. It's gotta actually be like a 7. I had some pretty good. She was kinky.
I'd have to say 1.
As kinky as you can be without having sex. So.
I've never been so soft while laying in a woman's bed before.
Oh. Conversation. Like a 3.
See, I would give her a higher score, except for the fact that, like, I feel like she was kind of manipulative almost. She was pretty manipulative toward me, I feel like. I feel like she was always trying to, like, play your emotions, and that was really frustrating.
Especially because I had no emotion. Oh.
I would say, conversation-wise, I'd say 5.
Okay. Trust.
I mean, just that one conversations with her and the missionaries about anal sex was...
It was pretty fun. See, for me, the conversations were good until we started spending a lot more time together.
See, the weird thing is that, like, the one night I was there with her, alone, and I was just solving my Rubik's Cube, like, I was seriously, like, just in the zone.
Oh.
I was, like, enjoying myself while I was in the situation, and then as soon as I got home, I was like, I never want to do that again.
That's how I feel about the relationship.
It's really strange. I give her a 5.
For conversation?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, see, I enjoyed, like, I felt like she made situations funny in group settings in the YSA, and that's why I took an interest in
Much
her.
better for group settings than on a one-on-one basis.
So yeah, one-on-one conversation dwindled.
I feel like there were times as well, like, the couple times we went to Keeper the Plains was just so painfully awkward.
Yeah, that was bad. I liked her grandma, or aunt, or...
Yes, I agree.
She was fun. I enjoyed her.
I agree.
Like...
You can't... That doesn't count, though.
I mean, no, that's a different person. But, like...
But yeah.
I honestly, I thought... I liked the...
I agree with that.
More, you know.
Also, the one time she got tired like my mom really freaked me out. Do you remember that?
I do. You insisted I drive her home.
She was delirious.
Yeah,
I was like, I've never seen somebody other than my mom in this state.
She'd have been fine.
She would have been, but...
I'm sure she was hamming it up.
She wanted you to drive her home, though.
I know.
It's partially why I insisted.
I knew that. It's kind of like the Ryan thing, where Pam's like, you know, you should be more careful about what you say to her. She really likes you. And Ryan's like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I felt.
It was a strange night. I remember listening to Abbey Road on the way home, though, which was sick.
Which was sick.
Well, I listened to the first half on the way there and the last half on the way home. So to me, it was just like...
It was just a album listening trip.
Yeah. And we were both pretty quiet on the way home because we were both like...
It's kind of like at the end of The Graduate.
Yeah. Yeah. There was also a time me and Haley went to Buffalo Wild Wings together, and we were there for like 5 hours.
Oh, yeah?
The weird thing is, like, she never wanted to drop me home. Like, she always wanted to, like, stay together for, like, a long time.
Yeah, she was pretty needy.
It was a bit too much. I would have liked spending time with her more if it was just for, like, an hour at a time.
Yeah,
and
like,
never more than that.
She was definitely most fun, or, you know, in a group setting, like, at the YSA for an hour, like, for an event. Like, that's, you know... That's how much of her was entertaining, for the most part.
I feel like we're saying really personal things about these people, but I'm fully committed to keep going.
No one's gonna listen to this. Well,
again, for my own and future entertainment, this is golden.
Until we get really famous, and then, you know...
It's not gonna happen.
Exactly.
If this video gets more than, like, 100 views, you could just delete it. Worst case scenario.
The lost for no one show episode. Brilliant.
Leave it in.
Okay. Trust. I give her a 1.
I also give her a 1. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't tell her shit.
I feel like I told her things, but only things that I felt were already painfully obvious to anybody who was assessing my situation.
That's fair. Emotion.
0.
2. You know, I felt kind of bad.
Well, no, I'll say 1. At the time, you were pretty upset about it.
I was nervous about the reaction. I was a little scared, too.
I feel like
I was more fearful of the social ramifications.
I feel like you got away...
I got away pretty easy.
Yeah. Mostly because the other people in the ward didn't like her.
Yes. If she had been well-liked, it would
have been worse. Yeah.
Change.
Again, it's just more examples of like what to avoid in the future.
Yeah, but I gotta say this one was like a 2. Like from the relationship itself, I didn't really get much out of it.
I'd say 1.
Because I was still, plowing Chrissy after that.
That's true.
I had not...
It wasn't long after.
Yeah. Anyway, reciprocation. It's gonna be like a 3, maybe a 2.
See, the problem is it's way too much.
Yeah, she reciprocated way more than I did.
So I'd say 1 or 2.
Which one?
Give her... Well... Actually, I'll say 3. Because, like, in an if I needed someone situation,
That's fair.
Occasionally it's nice to have, but...
Thanks for the memories. It's gotta be a 1.
1.
Oh, she actually may be the lowest score. Oh no, she's a little higher. And would you do it all again? This one's actually a no for me.
It's a no. It's a no from me.
It's a no for me, dog. Sorry. Finger symbols don't work. Alright.
Is that our first no?
You said no for Magda, I said no for June.
Okay.
This is our first unanimous no. Sabina got a why not, Okay. Shall we tackle Chrissy or do Kate first? Do you want to do Kate?
No, not really.
Okay, that's fair. We've had a couple bad ones. We don't need to throw.
See, I don't even have that many negative feelings toward her. Like, I feel like she was an essential part of the big friend group.
Yeah, see, which is why I actually, she would have gotten something decent for thanks for the memories, and she definitely would be a yes on would you do it all again. Like, for sure.
I agree. Yeah, like, I don't have bad memories of her. It was just, I don't have much to say.
I have memories of her being a little bitch. Which, like...
I never really cared about the drama, though. Like, if anything, I enjoyed that, so...
Oh... I mean, I enjoy the drama when it's not boring. The problem was it was boring drama, so it was more
That's
like,
true.
It's like, I have to deal with this, and it's just tedious. Rather, like, it wasn't upsetting at all emotional.
It wasn't that tedious to me.
To me, it was just a bit tedious.
Okay, that's fair.
But, okay, anyways, moving on. Oh, let's do Allie. Let's do Allie next. We'll save Chris.
Okay. She's gonna win the... Chrissy is the favorite to win the crown of the best bird.
Oh,
I don't know if we'll ever meet someone who's as much of a bird again.
Honestly, I don't know if we'll ever be in a situation where someone could be as much of a bird again. Okay.
If we went back to church, it's possible because you just meet someone who's sex starved
But the
and
thing is,
puritanical.
it
But
was also the three of us were a relationship thing. That's part of what made her such a bird.
yeah, the triad aspect of it.
For sure. Okay, anyway, Allie. Physical? I had a couple good yanks to her. You know.
Um,
I'd give her a... I'd give her a 2. No, let's give her a 3.
2. I feel like you definitely got more out of her than a 2.
The thing is, well, you know,
You used to touch her a lot when we were together.
that's true. She was like a lot of she was very cuddly and things like that.
And you used to rub her hair, and she rubbed your hair a lot. Or your head, you know.
Yeah. See, yeah, I guess that's true. Let me revise.
See, the first thing that comes to mind for me is the moment where I was like a bit jealous because you two were rubbing heads the whole night, and then I was like, let me get in on this action. And then I rubbed her head for a while, and I was like, I don't enjoy this at all. I immediately regretted it.
That's pretty funny that you're like, I want to do that, and it's like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
to me it just hurts my fingernails.
That's fair. I'll bump her up to a 5.
I think it's
Your
fair.
fingernails?
Well, it doesn't hurt. Just I don't like the feeling. I don't like the feeling of having someone's dandruff scraped into my nail.
That's fair.
Not that it was like a dandruff nightmare or anything, but
Yeah, you know.
there's just oils and stuff that get on your hands, you know?
Yeah, you're touching hair and scalp and scratching.
I give her a 3.
Okay. See, you know, the scale is tilted a bit. Alright, conversation. Let me see what other scores I've given people so I can kind of calibrate. I'd probably give her a 4.
I was gonna say 4 or 5.
Because
She didn't do well in group settings. That's one of the interesting things. Like when we invited her over when there was like 7 people there, she didn't do that well at all, I don't think. It was much better when it was just like 3 or less people there.
well,
Like me, you, and her, and maybe one other person.
I think also the whole like Julian being a horny bastard didn't help.
This is true.
You know, whenever there were fellas around.
Do you remember the one time we had like 9 people over and Sterling was one of them?
And we played the
Would you
word
or
suggestion game and Never Have I Ever.
Never Have I Ever? That's the one.
Honestly,
Watching his reactions to all the things she said was really entertaining.
it was. My prime memory of that night is just when Chrissy said crying and I said, horny. Like, it was such a reveal to all the people. It's like,
Well, I remember he got to whore and Kate said Chrissy.
Oh,
So
I forgot about that.
that was pretty funny.
That is a great game to play with 9 people. Like,
No, by that time, definitely some of them had left. There was like 5 of us at that point.
No, there were more of us. Because
I don't think so.
We filled up the whole table. There were like 8 of us.
We might have played it at 2 different times then.
I don't know if Sterling was still there.
I honestly, I think it was me,
I know
Kate,
it was me,
Chrissy,
Kate,
Julian, and you.
Amanda was there for that
Was
one.
she?
And I think her friend was actually there.
No, that was a different time.
Was it?
No.
It was at least the 6 of us. And then
Gosh, I forgot how many times we actually hung out with them.
Allie might
There was like many different times.
I think that was a night that Allie was there.
I don't know.
It
It doesn't matter.
it's not that important.
So what are we on? Conversation?
Okay. Yeah, conversation was a 4 for both of us.
Yeah, I'd give it a 4.
Trust, she gets a
1.
standard like 2. Just,
I didn't trust her that much.
Many acquaintances would. Emotion. I mean, honestly, I kept forgetting about her even when we had a relation, when we were friends. So 1.
I would say 3 for myself.
She was definitely a bird for me. Change. It's gonna be a 0. Nothing came really out of that relationship.
I'd say 1 or 2. 2.
Okay. Reciprocation.
7.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to give her an 8. Well, see, here's the problem. It's like, I think she was more emotionally attached to me, but that might just be because she's a woman. You know, just like because she just had friends that she was more emotionally. You know, it's the whole scale thing. But I was definitely hornier for her. Yeah, I'll give her a 7.
I'm just remembering how insane this premise is in general of this video.
This doesn't seem insane at all. This seems like a perfectly sensible thing to do.
I mean, it's fun.
Alright, thanks for the memories.
Give her a 6. She definitely added to the situation almost all the time. It was very rare she retracted from or took away from it.
It was also interesting seeing her interact with Big Hands. I've got to say, that was entertaining.
Oh my gosh, when I had to save my dad from getting Me Too'd so hard. Because he was like, I'm going to go to the garage and work on motorcycles. And she was like, I'll go out there with you.
Really?
And I was like,
Honestly, she's an 8 on Thanks for the Memories for me. Just because some funny things, you know, and like going to rescue her, like the going to rescue her when her car broke down. That was a fun night just between me and you know, like that she created sort of thing.
I would agree with that assessment.
Like she created fun situations even if she wasn't, you know. Like,
did we go to McDonald's later that night?
I don't
Was
know.
that the time we got the free apple pie?
Oh, that might have been. Or was that? Yeah.
Or was it a free large drink or something like that?
No,
the guy just hooked us up.
He threw in he bumped up to a large and threw in an extra apple pie.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Honestly, that man like has been forever ensconced in my memory as a great person. And then like when she came over drunk, that was fun. You know,
she wasn't that drunk, was she?
No, she was just tipsy.
Okay.
Yeah, she drove, so.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah,
I also remember making a birthday cake for her and she didn't eat it.
That was also funny.
It was kind of a rip. But we tried.
Anyway. See, it's almost like the relationship with her was fun because you participated too. Like, it created a lot of good friendship memories too.
That's the thing about that time period is I really tried so hard for it to be like Friends, like the sitcom Friends, where it's just like everyone constantly doing stuff together, and it did create a lot of memories.
It did.
Like, is it sustainable long term? Not really, because all the relationships eventually cascade into chaos.
Yeah, it's never gonna last 7
But like,
years.
for the no, but like the fact that we were able to sustain it for like 5 months.
Yeah, it
like when you think of everything that happened within like that 5 months, it's pretty crazy.
It was pretty action packed. Like we did a lot of things.
We were hanging out with people like 3 to 4 times a week at times.
Honestly, when I think back on it, no wonder I just went to sleep when I got home late. You know, like it's like I can't believe that I did that. Like with the amount I interact with people now, I'm like so surprised.
You did the whole Cutco thing and then that also.
And interacted with all of you.
There were times when it was too much for you and you were just tired of it.
That's true too. There were definitely nights where people were over and I was just turned off.
Yeah. Which I felt bad about, but I was like, it is what it is, partner.
I mean, that's not a big deal.
I think we all got to that point at some point.
We started getting sick of each other as a group, I think. I think the
Yeah.
only one who would have still liked it to always be is Julian. I don't think he ever got sick of it.
I'm not really sure. It's hard to say.
Alright, let's do it. Chrissy.
The ultimate bird. So, sexual gratification?
See, this was a hard one, because I really enjoyed it.
I would have to say 9.
Oh.
I got everything I wanted out of it, and nothing more.
See, yeah, I gotta say a 9 as well. Because it's one of the few times... Well, it's probably the only person I've ever had a sexual contact with where I didn't care if they were enjoying it at all. Like, it was purely self. It was just for me. So I gotta give her a 9, too.
Brilliant.
And there is definitely something satisfying about just using someone. Like, there's no worry about, are they having a good time or anything like that. It's just, I'm just gonna take. Alright. Conversation. We did have some very entertaining talks.
I would have to say, as a whole...
Well, here's the
6,
thing.
7?
So much of our relationship happened with both of us there.
It became toxic after a while, but when it was good, it was good.
But, like, the conversation, I feel like, again, was best because it was me and you talking, and she was there for fodder, sort of thing.
I talked to her individually a lot, also.
Okay.
On Messenger.
I guess I didn't do as much of that.
Yeah. I had a much more individual relationship with her than you did.
That's fair. Okay, what was your number for her?
For what?
Conversation?
I want to say like 6.5.
The only half.
I can't take it all the way up to a 7. It's too high. But it's definitely more than a 6.
Alright, I give her a 5. Because,
she was entertaining to be around for many other reasons besides what she's, like, the conversation itself. Like, we're kind of looping in conversation with just...
That's fair, which is being...
enjoyable to be around.
I did enjoy the whole relationship between you two. I thought that was really funny. I think I'm going to put that in thanks for the memories.
I thought it was entertaining, even though I was also inside of it.
Yeah.
And in turmoil. At times.
Alright.
It was deeply satisfying when she started hating us, but still wanted to be around us.
Honestly, it was so...
Like, it was really satisfying.
To be hated and loved by a person at the same time is a unique experience.
It is.
It is great. Okay. Trust. This one's hard to say.
She actually told me quite a bit about herself. I never shared anything that personal with her other than just...
I mean, you would occasionally tell her about fantasies that you wouldn't tell anyone else, but that was just to fuck with her. That's not really a trust thing.
Yeah, like, the things that I told her were not deeply personal to me. They were just things I shouldn't have said.
More just inappropriate than...
Yeah,
personal.
I'd give her a 6.
I'd give her a 4, probably. probably for me. I think we did talk on occasion, about things that were personal, but not really, not anything deep.
See, the thing is that the things that are important to her are so surface level.
Yeah.
That she shares a lot of what really matters to her. It's just, to us, it's like...
It seems...
so trivial.
So transparent, also. Well, that's the thing, too. She would share things as, like, I know. It's like, you can tell. It's like, It's like...
It's no secret.
The things that are really personal to her, it's like, she wears them on her skin, so...
On her sleeve, yeah.
No, on her skin.
Okay, whatever.
Like a chameleon.
She also did sleep at the house many times.
She did. Which I think she wanted to be used. I don't know if that was trust so much as just...
There's definitely a lot of unconscious happenings going on.
Oh. I should have gave it to her. Honestly,
I told you at the time.
I kind of regret not just sticking it to her, just because.
The thing is, she definitely would have... See, here's the strange thing, is that she has enough mental fortitude to tell people to, to quit.
Yeah.
She gets herself in the situation where it will happen, but then she does tell people, like... It's weird.
Once it happens, she's like, okay, I want to stop doing this, sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
She's like, she'll let you finger blast her, but not till she comes.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lose-lose to me, but...
Pretty much.
Yeah, I don't wish I had sex with her. I wish I had finger blasted her.
Agree. That's a hard agree for me.
That's like, sex...
I probably still would, to be honest. Just for the hell of it.
If one night I just crept in there and, shooken her up. Anyway.
I mean, there was the one time where my parents were out of town and she slept over.
Yeah.
And I told you, I was like, get in there!
We could have gone to church the next morning.
I told you to get in there, and, you were trying to be good.
Yep. I restrained myself.
Although, I have to say, if you had impregnated her...
Oh!
However unlikely that might have been, it would have been absolutely awful if that had happened.
Definitely the worst mistake of my life.
Yeah.
It's the worst mistake I could have made in all my years. I could have started meth and it would be equivalent.
I don't know about that. I feel like meth would have led you to make worse decisions.
See, but here's the thing. If I had just started on meth, even if I had a kid, I wouldn't have to care about it. If I had a kid with Chrissy, I'd have to care about it enough so I'd have to deal with her as my child's mother for the rest of that child's life.
This is true.
As a functioning sober adult. See, I feel like when you're on meth, life doesn't get that bad as long as you're able to keep doing meth until you die.
I mean, that's, it's not sustainable. Also, you probably just go to prison. That's the thing.
That's fair.
Like, death is not that bad of a consequence, but prison is pretty... That would suck.
Yeah, I guess I would just, I'd have to become gay. Well, it depends how long I was in prison. See, like, prison for life, if I just decided to start being gay, I feel like I could go with that.
I disagree for myself, but... If being gay was a solution for me, I would have gone that route a long time ago.
Oh, being gay is not a solution for you if you're still unattractive. That just gives you the same problem, but with dicks.
I feel like it would have been easier.
See, but not for what you want. Because you don't just want sexual gratification with someone who's unattractive.
It's true. I feel like I could have lured someone, though.
I An attractive man. Anyway, at least to jerk you off. Alright, emotion. Emotional investment.
Into Chrissy?
Into Chrissy.
That's a...
How much emotion did you pump into her?
I'd say 7. I think it's fair, honestly.
Face the change. I think I'm gonna put her 5 or 6. I think I'm gonna put her at a 5.
See, I still feel bad for her. That's the thing.
Yeah, I did pity her on occasion. You know, actually maybe it's a 4. I don't know. It's hard to say. You know, only 2 other people have broken 5 on emotional investment for me. So, yeah, she's probably a 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Changes.
That's hard to put into a number.
It is hard to quantify.
I feel like I learned a lot from the relationship. I mean, the entire YSA experience was just such a learning experience as to what women, like the human nature of females, you know? Yeah. We just learned so much.
This is the truth.
I feel like a big part of that was from Chrissy. Because the problem was is that the thing is that she was shameless enough that she was honest about her deepest desires.
Oh.
And that was really informative.
That it was. I also realized how much I like birds. Because of her.
I would say as far as a personal change, I think it's more of a memory thing for me. I think as far as personal change, I would have to say 3. I'm going to give it a higher memory score and a lower personal change score.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 5, I think, for changes. Because it's, you know, it was definitely formative of my relationships with women.
It probably will be for me. See, all of these things, I'll probably look back on more once I actually start having more relationships.
That's fair.
The problem is I've just been in a damn drought for the last, year.
2.
Basically, yeah.
I mean, since we moved to Mesa, I guess when you were in Mesa, yeah, you had birds at work, at least.
I haven't really lived in those 2 years, you know? Not in that way.
Reciprocation. I really don't know how to judge this one. It's so hard to say.
I would have to say 8. Because our relationship, we had such little self-respect for each other, but she really honestly did want to be around me a lot, and you also.
That's true. And
she was desperate to spend time with us at a certain point.
She did crave us. Oh. It's almost like the whole she didn't know how to quit us.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it was much more fun being with her when you were there also.
Probably an 8. Because I feel like, yeah, we probably had a... she probably craved me a bit more than I did her.
Yeah, probably.
But there were some times where... Well, honestly, the whole, the thing where you just put us together... that was a whole rip situation.
I feel like at the time... I just got really worked up about it for some reason. I don't even really remember why.
It was. So
I was just really, I was upset with her.
And so you wanted me to use her or something like that?
I was just upset. we could probably look back through the Facebook logs.
Oh, the chat.
Yeah.
How much of that must there be? God damn. It's gonna be a research project.
I could find it.
Actually,
But
I'm gonna change my reciprocation to 7.
what did I say?
8.
I still think that's, for myself, is fair.
That's fair. Alright. Thanks for the memories. I have to give her a 10 on this one. She gets a 10 for thanks for the memories.
I'd give her a 9.
It's by far the most entertaining relationship to look back on that I've ever had. She's, just so much happened, and so many funny and amusing, and
I can remember it vividly.
Yeah.
A lot of it as well. It's crazy.
Yeah, she definitely takes it for the memories.
The thing is, I was so insanely horny around her.
Oh.
It just blinded me. Like,
yeah.
Because the thing is, I never had a girl desire to be around me that much. Like, she legitimately wanted to be around me.
Even when you sexually harassed her. Like,
yeah.
Even because you sexually harassed her.
She like wanted
to be sexually harassed.
To be, yes.
It was definitely a horny making situation.
And the dreams were just insane. Well, not to mention the entire elaborated fantasy I had last summer.
Oh. God.
I mean, I don't even know if we can get into that. I don't know if I want to have that on tape.
I think you two could take that down.
We'd get demonetized.
I don't know. I don't even think they'd demonetize.
I might get a love letter from the FBI.
Ban the video. It's like, it's not appropriate for viewers.
You could just upload the podcast to RedTube or something.
Oh. Maxim won't even give you a subscription. Anyway, I would definitely do it all again.
Yeah, I would. Well, I wouldn't. I'm glad it happened. I wouldn't do it again.
The do it all again. If I was back to that same, back at the beginning.
I would make the same decisions or similar that I made. Yeah.
If I was back at the beginning of the relationship with my future knowledge, I would do it the same way.
It really did prepare me.
Except I would have finger blasted her.
Yeah. The relationships we had with Chrissy and Amanda really prepared me for the relationship I had with June that summer.
That's fair.
Like, there's no way that I would have handled it the same way or been able to handle it if I hadn't already had those 2 other relationships.
Yeah.
And for that alone, I have to say that the whole experience was beneficial.
I agree.
And I feel like it will serve me in the future as well. Looking back on this sort of stuff. I've just taken a break from, the world. I have to carve my statue first. Is there anyone else left?
So Hannah I can participate in.
Okay. Let's do Catherine first then real quick.
Yeah, so just run through Catherine. Physical.
I would say, well, okay, here's the thing. As a fat kid, to go out on dates in public with a girl who is that attractive, like, the amount of street cred was off the charts. So at the time, I'd have to say 8. Like, I never really got much from it at the time.
Uh-huh.
It was more about the confidence boost that it gave me.
So that's not physical satisfaction.
Yeah.
So,
but again, she was very attractive, and just being with her was enjoyable for that reason. So I would say 8.
Okay. Wow. That's a higher score than June.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think about Catherine
Still
sometimes. So
I mean, I've seen pictures of her, and she was pretty dang attractive. So
yeah.
Starting to swell up a little bit. All right.
Yeah.
Colors.
I can picture her face pretty well. So
That's fair. And didn't she also change in front of you in a dressing room?
yes.
Oh.
Not all the way nude, but basically I saw her in a
God damn. Honestly,
So-
that's kind of like that's so rude.
Well, like when we went to Target, or no, we went to Walmart and we went in the dressing room together and you just tried on that shirt.
Uh-huh.
It was like that.
I mean,
It wasn't like a big thing. It was like a...
but she took you into the dressing room with her.
Yeah.
It's definitely a bit rude, but also,
I feel like the thing is, I feel like this is one of the cases where my memory is just amplified, and so it's like...
I mean, at the age you were at, a girl, and with your experience, a girl taking you into a room and undressing in front of you...
It wasn't super undressing, though. Like, that's what I mean. Like, it's...
That doesn't matter.
When I told the story to Christy, I exaggerated a bit. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Still. It's still, fap material for a 14-year-old for so much time.
Well, I think I was 15 by then.
Oh, okay.
But still.
Anyway, conversation. How was your conversation with her?
I would have to give that a 9 or a 10.
Oh.
Probably a 10.
10? Dang.
I feel like some of the best dates I ever went on were with Catherine.
Trust?
Yeah, 5. Nothing too deep. Emotionally, again, I got more out of it just based on the confidence boost and the street cred it gave me. Like, my dad gained a level of respect for me that I don't think he ever had before that.
That's fair.
Like, he thought I was pretty much a loser until I brought her home one day, and he was like, holy shit. He's like,
this makes no sense.
How is this kid a straight 1? And he is pulling tang!
Brilliant.
Like, and I remember my friends too, because like, I had friends who were seniors, and they were like,
Yeah.
they didn't understand my magic ways, Like,
She just started a business, like Hitch.
I just had the magic touch, Part of it was because girls didn't feel threatened by me. So they let me do things that other people wouldn't have been able to do.
It's kind of like having the gay friend, for sure.
Yeah. But, I basked in the glory of it at the time. Even though I knew that was why, it didn't diminish from the value, really.
Okay, so what was the emotion?
I said 5, I think, right?
Okay. I wasn't sure. I may have missed it.
I wasn't that attached to her. I mean... we had a number of good conversations, but, it was formative for me.
All right.
She also offered to sell me Adderall.
Brilliant.
And I was like, I'm good. Thanks, though.
So, changes?
I remember that was one of the Adderall thing, just the reason I brought that up is because I remember thinking that was like the first time I had met somebody who was like legitimately willing to like get into the dark arts with me.
Oh.
That's how I saw it at the time.
Yeah, like she was willing to do drugs with you.
Yeah, like nobody else that I knew was like even remotely in that scene.
Yeah.
Anyways, go on.
Changes?
I would have to say it shaped me. I think a long-lasting change, not as much, but I mean, it was formative. I'll say 6, 7, 6. Again, the changes are low, the memories are high.
That's fair.
So, reciprocation was a 9. I mean, I never actually thought anything would happen with her, so I never really got my hopes up.
Yeah.
So, for what I was
really
expecting, I got exactly what I was expecting and more. Yeah. So, and again, the street cred was off the charts.
The street cred. All right, thanks for the memories. I mean, if it's still spank fodder to this day.
Yeah, I mean, the memories are a 9. Like, there was like, the last time I saw her was a bit bittersweet because I think I had gained a lot of weight and she was, like, disappointed in me.
Oh.
Like, I think the heaviest I ever was the last time I saw her. And, like,
damn. I
remember thinking that she was, like, a bit disappointed. Because she was, like, hoping that, like, my life would change for the better. And I feel like she kind of knew in that moment that it was, like, not going well. Because, like, I dropped out of school. So, yeah, like, the last time I saw her was after I dropped out of school and after I came back from Arizona. And then it was, like, things just weren't going well by that time.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But, yeah, overall, the memories are great. So, if it had been purely good and had no bittersweetness to it, it wouldn't be nearly as memorable either. Like, there has to be a little bit of the reality thrown in there to have it be, you know,
really cement itself.
Yeah. For sure.
Right. The last one we have is Hannah.
See, okay, so sexual gratification is going to be...
I remember I yanked a few to her, that's for sure.
I'm gonna say 5.
I poured some out for, you know.
Pour one out?
For a homie, you know. Whatever homie she suffocated with that fat ass. Honestly, her shit on your face is a fucking death sentence.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I gotta say a 5 as well.
That made my night. Fat ass. Yeah. Oh, I got lightheaded from that.
Because I also did, like...
Yeah.
Alex and Soren were pretty good friends, and, like, I hung out with him a decent bit, so, like, I got some tangential, you know, with her as well, just being... Like, I was at Soren's house on a semi-regular basis while they were there for, like, a year or so.
Similar things happened to me as well. Like, I have a memory where she was, like, calling, like, she wanted us to bring her something one time.
Yeah.
And she was, like, laying in bed.
Oh.
Like, can you bring me something? And we were like, I mean, you know, again, she's in a bed, so.
Yeah, and when you're a super horny teenager.
Just seeing a woman, like, under the covers in a bed is, you know, it's enough.
It is. Yeah. Like, I have no idea if this is a true memory. Like, it's been so long that I don't know if I created this, but I definitely have a memory of when she was, you know, recently out of the shower. And, you know.
See, that's how I feel about the Catherine in the dressing room thing. It's like the memory is so clouded to me that I can't it's like, is it real or not? Like, it seems like it is.
It's fair.
The mind is powerful, though.
It is.
Actually, see, the weird thing is also, now that you say that, I feel like I remember seeing her in a towel at some point.
See, isn't that maybe it was like a swim party.
It was probably a swim thing.
Yes.
Because I definitely have a memory of her in a towel also.
Yeah, it was probably at like Biggs Lake, or for a youth event. That's probably what my memory is calling up. Anyway, that fat ass, definitely. She was the thickest 14-year-old I have ever seen.
Well, I think she was 16 when she moved near us. Or no, she was 15.
She was 14 or 15. She was a my age.
Well, I guess they must have moved there before. The first time I met her was in seminary, so.
Yeah, she was in my ward.
They must have been there for a year or so before that.
Yeah,
but.
I also saw her at mutuals, all the time. So, anyway, conversation. From what I recall, it's gonna be like a 3 for me.
It's gonna be a 3. Yeah, that sounds about right.
I remember thinking she wasn't, terribly smart. But trust, that's a 0.
Trust is a solid 1.
Emotional content, that's a 0.
Emotional investment, I would say at the time I was at like a 7.
Well, actually, I don't know. I'm actually gonna give her like a 2 on that one. Not a 0. I do remember having a mild crush on her.
See, she liked me because she liked all of Soren's friends.
Wait,
like
what?
I feel like she gave preferential treatment to a lot of Soren's friends.
Yeah, that's
especially like later when we were all in seminary together. She definitely
I mean, it helps that, they were the people who she actually met since she had moved there.
Yeah.
Because Soren was definitely more outgoing, I feel like.
Yeah.
See,
gosh, she didn't have a wagon though. I mean,
she did. I have a specific memory.
I seriously feel like I was gonna pass out for a second.
I have this memory. I know what shorts she was wearing. It's a mutual. We were in the kitchen. We were doing something cooking that night, and I remember her walking out of the kitchen, and it was in like the first 3 months she had moved there. So I was like 14, 15 at this point, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Prime horniness.
It's what happens when people are unaware of how attractive they are, and so they just walk around like normal without trying to hide it.
Yeah, and she had these pink, it was when yoga pants were just becoming a thing.
Yes,
really
I remember these pants.
She had those pink.
The Victoria's Secret pants.
Yeah, the pink brand.
With the pink.
They weren't
the pink
pink.
brand.
They were
yeah.
blue. I remember they were blue. The ones she was wearing.
She had a few pair.
This specific night, and I was like, that ass is so amazing. It's like it was the first time in my life that I had encountered anyone with such a voluptuous booty who was anywhere close to being within range for me to interact with. You know what I mean?
Do you remember when Amanda wore that green and black striped skirt in the YSA?
Yeah.
And there was a time when she walked past me and I literally put my hand out to grab it.
Oh!
Do you remember that? That's where I came up with the term, it's in my hands.
Yeah.
To do something.
Because you just wanted to touch it.
The motion happened before the thought.
Honestly, that was a great skirt on her.
I remember seeing her walk up onto the stage, and me and you both were like, oh.
Yeah.
And President Housley, I remember, looked at us and was like,
I don't remember that.
I feel like he was aware.
It was.
Because I was like,
skirt though. I mean, yeah, we probably were, being super.
The fact that you remember it so well, also. God damn.
And
the same sort of vibe, though, yeah.
it wasn't just the skirt either. That day she was wearing like a nice sweater top that really showed off the milkers.
Yeah, it's true.
That's, to me, the physical satisfaction part is so disappointing with Amanda. Because
yeah,
she
there's
had
so much
such
potential there.
great curves that you just wanted it to be good, and it was just so disappointing. Like, that, it really, she ruined it for me. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a great memory. That green and black striped skirt.
Honestly, I mean, I love skirts like that anyways.
It was so tight. It was like 3 sizes too small.
Oh, that's just right. Magda has this dress. It's like a different material, but it's like black and a little stretchy, and it's small on her, so it like really hugs the hips. It's hot, for sure.
I think the stripes are really what set it apart, though.
That's fair.
When you see the crease underneath the cheek, though, you're like, God damn, that is tight. You know what I mean?
That is thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. Like, for sure. Like, that's... She was definitely thicker than a bowl of oatmeal.
I completely agree.
Hannah is kind of tainted because I remember by the time I turned like 18, like I was getting ready to go on my mission, we looked at pictures of her and she was, you know, a bit frumpy. But
she peaked at 16, that's the thing.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, emotional investment. What did you say yours was? Was it 7? I didn't.
6, 7.
Okay.
See, Hannah was the girl who made me realize, and this ties into the change thing as well. Hannah was the girl who made me realize what projection was.
Oh.
Like, the whole epiphany that I had, and was because I fell into the same cycle that I had already fallen into with, like, 2 other girls.
God.
And I was like, I started to realize what was happening. And yeah, because it's like when I left for Arizona, she was like really upset. Like she literally started crying when she found out that I was leaving.
Oh.
And it was so bizarre to me that she would even care.
Yeah.
Let alone enough to start crying, that it was just like, it freaked me out. So I was like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, maybe I can get some before I leave. Like, you know.
Yeah, like maybe you can...
I thought I could capitalize, you know?
Like a hand job at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
So I went on this date with her right before I left. And I remember thinking, like, I was like trying to figure out what would be the best time to go in for a kiss.
Oh.
And literally, no. What happened is, literally, right as I decided to do it, and I was working up the courage to do it, and she was like, oh, Zach, I love being around you so much. You never try anything on me. And I was like, damn.
You could tell it was coming. She had to, you know, divert the...
I mean, maybe. Like, I don't know. But, like, then after that, Jackson got really upset that we were talking so much, and he was like, you can't talk to him anymore.
Oh, yeah, he was plowing her, wasn't he?
Yeah. And I just, like, and so then she was like, I can't talk to you anymore. And I got really upset.
Brilliant.
Like, I got really upset at that time. I was like, because I felt like she'd been yanking my chain for a while.
Yeah.
Like, just not being honest and, like, pretending like she was interested, or like she was trying to keep me as an option, or something, you know.
The whole friend zone thing.
Yeah, it was just annoying, and so, you know, yeah, for the personal change thing, I would have to say 10 as well.
Wow.
Because like after that happened, I literally like had an epiphany. I read Paper Towns, and the book is about projection as well, and like all of the puzzle pieces just like came together for me,
Oh.
and it taught me a lot.
Well.
Yep.
Dang. All right, reciprocation.
4.
It's probably like a 2 for me. I don't know. It's hard to say. I think I don't know if
I mean, she did like me, but you know, like I said, she cried when I was leaving. That's how, like, she liked me enough to cry when I was leaving. But maybe 5.
I honestly don't know if I even had a space in her mind. Like, she knew who I was, obviously, and we interacted on a regular basis, but there wasn't any sort of relationship there. So.
Yeah, I mean, I actually went on like 7 to 10 dates with her. I can't remember exactly, but like, I did go out with her quite a few times. So.
Yeah, I was only ever interested in her ass, so that's valid. Okay, thanks for the memories. Honestly.
7.
And like the night we went and plastered our car with the meme.
Well, yeah, okay. If you include that, it's practically a 10. But that's more of a me and you thing than a her thing.
Yeah, we had, that was just us having fun, mocking her, or not mocking her, but harassing her.
Yeah.
That's fair. Okay, I've got to give her.
I'll give her a 7. She was a decently good sport about it, but like she didn't enjoy it that much either. I feel like we didn't reap the fruits of our labor.
Yeah, she did not appreciate the effort that went into that.
Yeah, especially the one where I photoshopped Nathan's face onto Jackson. Like that was brilliant.
This one's hard for me because I feel like I already gave her spank bank memories in physical satisfaction.
You can include it here.
Okay, I'll give her a 4.
4 is still so low. Why are you even worried about it?
I want to be accurate.
Alright. I feel like my average numbers are just going to be higher than yours.
I don't know about that, actually.
Really?
Well, you have some that are really low. Sabina is a 4.
I guess that's true.
It's going to throw it off. Okay, I just have 2 more columns to add up real quick. Or rows is how I'm doing it.
Okay.
Just let me total these up, and then I can rank them.
Is there a way for you to share your screen with me? I can see it?
I'll just take it as an image and send it to you once I've
ranked
it all.
Okay. This was honestly really fun. Like, I feel like we definitely shared a lot for the fact that this is going to be public. But it doesn't, like, it all happened so long ago that it also kind of doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if any of these... Oh, we forgot. If you had the option, would you do it all again? I mean, that's a why not for me.
With Hannah?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't even really a choice on my part.
I mean, it was formative, so... Like, I learned a lot, so...
I mean, I treasured the memories of her ass for years after. I would like her to see me talking about her like this.
Honestly,
it would be entertaining.
It wouldn't bother me to clip out that part where we were talking about her and then Amanda, and then send that to Amanda.
I would send it to Hannah, too.
I wouldn't.
Is that sexual harassment?
I feel like it definitely is.
Oops. Okay.
To just say it and then put it out there in public is not, but then to specifically send a clip of it to somebody, it is.
Sexual harassment.
Yeah.
That's fair.
You could send it to Amanda, though. That'd be pretty funny.
I wouldn't mind sexually harassing her.
I mean...
Honestly, though, it was nice. I mean, I did love
Yeah.
Amanda's hugs. She was so full-bodied. And she was tall enough that I really got like a full chest full, like torso full of nice squishiness.
I don't think I got one of those from her.
No.
Not that I can recall. I mean, I think. Oh yeah. You remember the when we were leaving and we hugged her?
Uh huh.
I like pretty much groped her, and she was like, she didn't want to hug me, but I just made it happen.
Just went for it.
Yeah. My freaking shoulders are sore. Like my body's sore from doing the Stairmaster, but it's like not just my legs. It's like my chest, my shoulders, and my abs are all sore from that. Wouldn't it be great if you slept walk, but you just exercised? Like you just in the middle of the night exercised, and then went back to sleep. That'd be awesome.
So how should we rank them? Should we have both of our individual rankings top to bottom? Or should we do like totals for both of us?
Let me just send it to me real quick.
I sent you the screenshot.
Let me
I think total, Chrissy probably takes the cake.
her numbers are just OP. No, Magda might. Actually.
It's close.
Chrissy's total is 85, Magda's total is 88.
Oh, yep.
What is June's total?
76.
Is 76.
I feel like you like Magda much more than I like June, so you have less resentment towards her at least.
Yes, this is true. Our scores for Magda and June, respectively, are almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
Because there's, 7 categories? Right?
Yeah, and I gave Magda a 62, you gave June a 63.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's...
Yeah, she gained the point in change. That's where she got a decent... The difference for us between Magda and June is 4 in change. Anyway.
Interesting.
Sabina came to a grand total of 25.
It's pretty low. Why not? Catherine got a 52. That's pretty respectable.
Yeah, that's your second highest.
Third highest is...
Christina.
Oh, is that the pharmacy one?
Yeah.
That's CH.
Oh.
That's what threw me.
Yeah, Chrissy's at the top. She was the first one I thought of, obviously.
Our highest thanks for the memories is Chrissy by a landslide.
Oh, yeah. She got a 19 total thanks for the memories.
Yeah, I wouldn't give her a 10 for that, but... That's pretty funny.
Okay, so how do we want to rank them? Do we want to just...
Wait, Hannah thanks for the memories only 4. Is that what I said?
Yeah.
I thought I said higher than that.
I mean, you can change it now. It's not a big deal. You know what I just realized? We successfully ranked 11 women.
Nice.
So we can run through our top 11 birds of all time.
Well, there's one more on here that, for me, would have to be included, which is Sienna Biggs. She was my first bird.
I mean, I guess both of us didn't rank 11 women. You ranked 10 and I ranked 9, but...
Yeah, Sienna Biggs, I definitely could rank, but... She was definitely the first bird I ever had. Like
Oh.
not the first crush I ever had, but definitely the first bird. But that's pretty funny though. So, are you calculating the bird factor on these?
Oh. I was just doing absolute totals.
Well, if you do the physical, the ratio of physical to emotional.
Yeah, so I was thinking a good bird factor would be you take the physical score and you divide it by the emotional investment score.
Yeah.
So let's see. Chrissy has a bird factor of 2, roughly.
Yeah.
So actually, Haley is probably going to be the biggest bird.
You spelled her name wrong, also. Yeah, probably.
Remember.
It's like 3.5 to 1.
Okay, so she's a 2, and then only like a 1.2 for you. June is just a 0. She's nothing.
She gets a negative bird rating for you.
I mean, to even say that we had a relationship is... It's an exaggeration, most likely. Oof, Amanda's a 0.25 for me.
I mean, I would say there was a double date-esque relationship between you and Amanda and me and June for a little while.
Yeah, a little bit.
We existed in that space for a while.
I mean, Sabina's a 3 on the bird scale for me. Haley's a 3.5.
Yeah. Selena's only a 2.
Which, that's still
Wait, Allie. Wait, for you, Allie's 5 to 1.
Oh, that bird. Hannah is a 2.5. She barely avoided a 5 rating.
I feel like with the emphasis you put on that ass, it could have been higher, though.
I mean, not for what actual satisfaction came from it.
Yeah, I know.
If I had ever gotten to grab it, oh, fuck yeah. That'd be like a 9. Eight to 5. I mean,
I did grab Sienna Biggs' ass one time.
A 1 bird rating.
See, that's why I feel like Sienna Biggs is relevant to this conversation. Like, I grabbed her ass one time. That was a full-on groping. I literally chased after her and groped her.
Oh.
It's pretty funny.
Okay, so the most birdish birds. We've got Allie at a 5.
That's unfortunate. She deserves better than
a 5 bird.
She deserves more than a 1 out of 10 emotion from you.
Okay, we'll bump her up to a 2 emotion. That's fair. Looking at the whole range, actually, I'm gonna bump Hannah back down to a 1 for emotion. I really just care about that.
It was mostly just fun to torment her.
Yeah.
But again, like, it is great because I feel like that night you came over on New Year's Eve and we made those pictures. Yeah. That was one of our...
It was a good memory for us, too. Like, we had a lot of fun doing that.
I feel like before then we were kind of friends. But after that we were, like, for real friends.
Alright, so Hannah comes in with the highest bird factor then of 5. And then Haley with 3.5. And all of these are my scores, by the way. I don't know if you have higher bird factors on any of these.
I think in general, my emotion scores are going to be higher than my.
Yeah. And in general, I'm the other way around. Yeah. Okay, so Haley is a 3.5. Sabina is a 3. Allie's a 2.5. Chrissy comes in, surprisingly, as only a 2 for the bird factor.
Technically, my highest ratio for birds is Magda.
Oh.
Because it's 7-5.
Well, Chrissy's also a 9-7, so it's close.
Well, 9-7 is a
it's
less.
it's
less
1.2
different.
to 1.4. Yeah, so like they're both above 1.
Yeah.
You have an 8-5 on Catherine. That's a 1.6.
Oh, okay.
Yep, Catherine's your biggest bird.
It kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
I didn't really take her home and wear her out, though.
No. See, that's really what makes me, I believe that Haley is the biggest bird because I wore her out. I can see her coming ahead of Chrissy just because,
So Chrissy was the favorite, but I mean,
okay, so ranked top total.
See, I think what we've really learned is that you wear people out physically and I wear them out emotionally.
Oh, we already knew that. That's why our relationship with Chrissy worked as a threesome.
Yeah, we really wore her out. Just on all levels.
Okay, so number 1 comes Magda with a total score of 88. Second all-time bird is Chrissy with an 85. Third, we have Amanda at a 79. Fourth is June with a 76. Fifth, we've got Allie with a 53.
The dark horse.
Yeah, 6th we have
for top 5.
Catherine, who got all zeros for me because I didn't vote for her, got a 52. Hannah, the ass, got a 50. Selena, although you didn't vote for her, got a 47. Up next was Christina from work with a 43. Haley coming in next to last with a 31. And then our least favorite bird of all time. Well, actually, no. Here's the thing, though. So Sabina comes in last with a 25. But Haley is the only bird to get a unanimous no, we would not do it again. So, who knows? Some of those scores might be a bit tilted. So the scores aren't...
Well, Selena, you also gave a 9 for Thanks for the Memories.
And?
And a 10 for Reciprocation. So, I think that bumped her up a little.
I mean, you gave Catherine an 8 for physical satisfaction. So,
How was I not? How could I not?
I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying you also gave her 9 for Thanks for the Memories and 9 for Reciprocation. Both of us liked our individual...
Okay, that's true.
We both had our favorites. Yeah, you scored Catherine at 52. I scored Selena at 47.
It's fair. Well, now I just feel bad for Haley. It's proven by data.
Oh, no, I actually miscalculated it. Selena is a 49, which doesn't change her ranking at all, but...
It's a little closer to my ranking of Catherine, though.
Yeah.
Well, we've learned a lot.
Yeah. Well...
What can I say?
If you're watching this, you're welcome for coming out on top.
See, I was generous with my rankings of her because she's still around.
I was gonna say, if your rankings were more honest, Chrissy would have probably came out on top. I felt like you were, pumping the numbers a little bit.
Well, let's revisit that real quick then.
Okay, so base, and we did her first too, so we didn't have a good, feel for
This is true.
different numbers. So for physical, what would you rank Magda?
Yeah, seven is a bit high compared to the rest of my lists. If you look, there's only two people. Well, there's only three people who got a 7 or higher.
You have a 6, 7, 8, and 9. And a 5, and a 4, and a 3.
I feel like, but I mean, just even just counting the dreams, Amanda should be higher than Magda. So a 7 is pretty high.
Yeah.
Just based on that. So I have to bump her down to maybe it's a 5 for the dream.
But the thing is, it's more recent too, so it feels.
Yeah, it's a recency bias. Yeah, I mean the dreams about Amanda were very vivid, also. And when I planned out how I'd murder all of these people, Amanda's was pretty satisfying.
All right, so we've dropped to a 5 for physical. Still keeping a 3 for conversation?
Yeah, that's fine. Trust is 1, emotions 5.
Change is 0.
Yeah, the rest is fine, probably. So I don't know if that changes it.
Thanks for the memories. Is that one, I forget talking about it. What were your memories?
I guess 5 is a bit high.
Like, you haven't...
That was basically based on the dream.
Yeah.
I guess I would have to bump that down to a 3. Based on the rest of my list.
Okay, so that brings Magda back down to 84, which does place her second on the bird list, to Chrissy's 85.
Okay, that's enough. Chrissy had to be the top bird.
Out of the total of both of our experiences, basically what the numbers say is she's had the biggest effect on us, as a total. Which probably makes sense.
Your framing is so bad.
Yeah, sorry, I haven't looked at my camera.
It's pretty funny. It's alright.
For a typing.
I know. Well,
there we have it. Our top 11 birds.
What else? I mean, in closing thoughts, what are your opinion on? The future of birds
in general
in your life.
Well, just a quick reflection on the past. I think this goes to show that, well, many may not approve of my decisions. I really only have one regret when it comes to birds. So, it's... looking back on all of my relationships, good and bad, I think I gained from all of them. Like, I would do pretty much all of them again.